So game one's always on runestones, as opposed to Arabia, which happened in previous tournaments for Red Bull. And it's Chinese versus TaToH here. I'm a little surprised to see TaToH on this map, but I don't know what the other maps are, because TaToH can normally be utilized in other ways. And it looks like TaToH had the faster start. But again, we are going to speed through, and man, there's this funny bug, and maybe someone in chat figured it out yesterday, where every time TaToH is playing, every time TaToH is in a game, and I click random area on the screen, you hear the TC noise. Listen. And it's only with TaToH. It's so, I mean, it's like, it's almost so unique and so specific that I can't even be annoyed. I mean, I am annoyed, but the fact that it's only TaToH screwing me up is funny, man. Okay. Well, TaToH, all in aggression here. Later to wall than Vivi was. And I think that this is going to be kind of a theme throughout this series, guys. I think Vivi's more of a boomer. There was a time where Vivi, in peak Vivi days, which was probably 2018, was a player that was a bit more aggressive. But a lot of that just stemmed back to the towers, which are pretty non-meta now. You will see it towers defensively sometimes, but that's about it. Vivi will have two stables. Okay, two stables to make knights. TaToH needs to get out of here with the archers until those upgrades come in for him. But it's just been all about TaToH and his aggression here to start off this game. It looks like TaToH did lose 2 vills, though, as scouts might have got through. It's planned as part of the TaToH buff. Oh, good pickoffs for TaToH. He dives the tower, but I think he'll end up losing his entire army now. I think it was a little sloppy for Vivi, a little messy for Vivi to toss away a few extra vills there, but TaToH with 7 vill kills and 2 deaths. But we have a siege workshop over here, and that's a perfect spot for that. Sometimes after you've been raided, you don't quite have the resources to go for knights and mangonels. Like, your eco's all out of whack. So for Vivi, time is really crucial here. And TaToH now pressuring, and there's no defense, and it's just looking so good for TaToH. Now it's a 20 vill lead. Cav archers with TaToH looking so strong. At Vivi's little siege push here, I mean, I say little siege push, and that's accurate, right? Scorpion goes down, Mangonel's there. You're going to need a couple Mangonels. And I think going siege push against Cav Archer civs is always a little questionable, too.
Greetings from the YouTube gang.
No question that TaToH has come to play today. Very dominant display here. Like, this has got to be a big confidence booster for him. And it might go the opposite direction for Vivi here. 15 villagers killed for TaToH, 40 villager lead. Looks like we might just be speeding through game 1, and then we'll catch up with game 2. Like, if you dominate someone like this in game 1, they're going to be feeling like, oh gosh, I can't beat this player, you know? Whereas you're gonna feel pretty good going forward. But won't get too far ahead of ourselves. It is a best of 7. For Vivi, the whole siege push is going to die here, and I think we'll probably see the GG soon after. There's got to be the recognition that the eco's not looking good for you. Actually, TaToH doesn't have that much military. But maybe in a few moments, he's mixing in pikes now. Maybe in a few moments he can get take care of those scorpions, and then pikemen are going to be all he needs. Yeah, more cav archers come out, more pikemen come out. When you have 114 villagers, you're going to be able to make more military. And it looks like we're caught up to live time. Wonderful. Well, people, if you wanted live action, you have live action. Nice to see you. Oh, yes. Glad we could get live right before the game ended. So that's game number 1. We saw everything in detail. And TaToH takes the game. And like I said, I think that TaToH was overall more aggressive. And Vivi didn't have a very strong opening. And then the follow-up with the siege push maybe just felt out of place. This is something in standard Age of Empires you see a lot of with the little side siege workshop monastery, Mangonel Knight. But TaToH was already pretty far ahead at that point. He was able to get into Vivi's base so many times and do damage. You look at the eco stats here, and there's probably a massive difference. And this is pretty uncommon when you're looking at Chinese versus another civ, because Chinese, pretty solid. This just tells you how strong TaToH was. The ability to make 2 castles, more stone. The only thing he didn't have more of was gold, right? He had more food, more wood, more stone. So we have time to chill a little, and we're going to be moving on now to the next game. The next game will be, I'll update the scoreboard here, on one of Vivi's home maps. And so they went through a process of picking home maps, and they also have a Civ draft, which I'll also show you guys. Tambo time. I am excited to be up this early on a Sunday because I want to cast some games. So I wish it was like a little better for me because waking up at 9 is just brutal for me. Well, actually, it's not waking up at 9 that's brutal for me. I do that every day. It's waking up and being ready to cast at 9. That's different, right? Normally, I need an hour or two to ease into the day. Didn't really have that here. But yeah, scores 1-0, and let me just try and pull up some of this information for you guys and maybe speculate a little bit. I think the rune stones is pretty similar to some of the maps we're going to see Vivi want to pick. As a player, this is definitely someone who likes those land maps. And if that is the case, as we have the Civ draft here. Wonderful, wonderful. 1 sec, guys. If that's the case, I think the signs are good for TaToH. However, the first home map pick for Vivi is Greenland, which has some water on it. He then picked Marketplace, and then he then picked Acclivity. Okay, so we got some land maps mixed in here. All right, so this is what the Civ draft looks like. I'm eventually going to have an actual overlay scene for you guys. I used to have one, and then it broke. And then overlay guy's kind of taking a break right now, so we haven't had time to work on anything. But this is supposed to be meant for watching YouTube videos. But whatever. So game one was Chinese for Vivi. And then it was Tatars for TaToH. Tatars, TaToH, it just sounds good. So it's anyone's guess what happens next. There's so many different maps. I'm not going to speculate too hard because we don't even know what that map is yet, and Vivi has choices. But in terms of the draft, I think it's pretty close. TaToH's got some interesting ones, like Turks. He's got Saracens as well. Like Saracens is a very unique one, and that he likes to play with that market. Whereas I think maybe Slavs is a standout for Vivi. Maybe you pick this on a map where you want to go for Scouts and Knights. You do have to pick a lot of civs, so you're going to see some ones that maybe seem a bit off when you don't have them placed in a game. Shouldn't Tatars have a crown now? They should have a crown now. Yeah, you know what bothers me, Silver Knee? Is I never needed... It's probably better to be able to put a skull and a crown there so people can know what they won and lost with. But I never needed that. For me, I just want the X. Take me back to the X. Make it simple. I'm a simple man. What's going on? Agile, if we could get some Heymans in chat for Agile. What's up? Hey, PC Nerd. He says, greetings and salutations, T90 in chat. I saw DM Bent and Bourbon Proof saluted. I assume PC Nerd, so thank you guys for doing that. Yeah, why don't we just auto everything? Exactly. Okay, the next map will be Greenland, which has a lot of water focus, and I've seen players pick Saracens there frequently. TaToH also has Italians. So TaToH has Saracens, which might be more suited for land. Okay, I don't know why people always use the co-caster command when there's clearly no co-caster, so I'm going to delete this co-caster command because it shouldn't exist in the first place. Such a pet peeve of mine. I'm clearly here casting on my own, and someone shows up and they do the co-caster command, and then the co-caster command's like 3 weeks old. Ah! I think at this point people do it to troll me because I brought it up on stream so many times. But yeah, I think TaToH should maybe save Saracens for land, and then he could go Italians for this map, which incorporates water.
18 months. Finale ready to host Commie Games. 11.
Do we see Byzantines here for Vivi? Look at this. As far as civs that excel on water, do you go Byzantines maybe? With those fires, it's cheaper to go Imperial. It's not always just water. You could see other things too. Could maybe make an argument for Huns. But I wouldn't like that here. I think Huns... It feels like it's kind of a waste for Huns to be used on a water map, but not having to build houses does help. If I had to guess, and I can't see until they're in-game, I would say we probably see Byzantines versus Italians here. Greenland. A map that I haven't seen too much of, but probably my least favorite map so far. Just because, I mean, if I start to see a little bit more variety in the mid game, I'll change my mind on that. They haven't started yet. They'll be starting soon. You should troll people back and make the command say the co-caster's muted. Oh, that's true. Arian says, T90, do you need another ill-tempered Florida man to keep you company or something? I think if... Varian, if you were to come over right now and my girlfriend who's currently sleeping in would just wake up to having another person in the house, I think she might be a little concerned for my mental well-being and her own well-being. That would be a little weird. Like, babe, who's this stranger in the house? Don't worry. He's been subbed to my stream for 3 years. It's not a big deal. Without even telling her, yeah, that would be, it'd be a little weird. But maybe some other time, Varian. You can just say it's Varian. She knows me. Oh, haha. Funny, funny. Funny, funny, Varian. Thank you, Camson, for 35. Almost at 3 years. What's up, Snooby? Okay, great. They've started the next game. It is Italians versus Byzantines. It will be live here in 15 seconds, guys. Curious to see if they play it similarly, because I think if you're going just full water control, and this map incorporates other things, I think that the Italians are just better. I talked about it in Hidden Cup 4 when it was straight up islands. I think Italians are still the best water sid. Portuguese have a shout because of the Vitorias and whatnot, but yeah. This map does have other elements to it, and here are those other elements. So, ladies and gents, welcome to the first decider. This is like the first official game I'm casting in this because the first game was really fast. This is the first decider of 4 today. And for those of you watching, winner here moves on to the Red Bull main event. Be Red Bull Wololo number 4. It's crazy to think there's been 4 of them in like the space of 2 years. A main event is a prize pool of 30,000. And there's already 8 names, and those are the top 8 from the previous Red Bull in. We had 4 people qualify last weekend. There will be 4 players qualified today. And so in this map, water has been really important from what I've seen. But also, reason water can be important and reason you kind of have to mix in some land too is because there's shorefish out here. That can give you a lot of food income. So TaToH's over here on his mill, and he's collecting shorefish. Villagers collecting shorefish is very fast. And we have a dock from Vivi. And you can sail through the ice. Sail over the ice, I guess. Glide over the ice. Slide over the ice. But not the snow. So this region right here is maybe an area that Vivi feels is very important, as he's going to go for a tower. Vivi taking a different approach to TaToH, who's going to come out here and make an additional mill. Now, you start with 1 mill, correct? So I kind of feel like this mill... I have to double-check that, actually. But I think you start with a mill. And I honestly feel as though Vivi's mill is significantly worse. It's not game-breaking or anything, but... What's TaToH up to here, man? We're not seeing too much from TaToH. TaToH's going to lose a villager. And TaToH's just working to make archers, but I'm not seeing a dock for TaToH at all. Not really what I was expecting when I saw this map, right? Is TaToH's going to make a new mill. In terms of, like, visually, this map looks really good. Would you guys agree? This looks really pretty. The mix of the snow and the ice, the gold, the relics, it looks really cool. I'm still a little confused why we're not... I guess TaToH wants to be sneaky here, guys. I'm just uncertain on what his strategy choice is. He hasn't tried to secure more of the shorefish. So Vivi's getting all that food income. I think he's going to try and sneak across with archers here. He might run across right past this region. And there's just been a whole lot of pressure from the Fat Dragon, as we've called him for years. He's not known by that as much nowadays. He was back in peak Vivi days. He was known as that. And TaToH's going to sneak. This way. Now, Byzantines do get free town watch, guys. So you get a bit more vision than you would otherwise have. But if you think about how Vivi's approaching this, range in the center, fully expecting those archers or anything to come through the middle and meet him and his tower and his archer range there. There's going to be a little surprise here. And for TaToH, this is really important because he is behind economically. There's opportunities for villager kills. Let's see if Vivi can defend in an awkward spot here and how late the reaction is. Oh, it's a very late reaction. No reaction whatsoever yet. Probably getting the attack signal now. Now we see Vivi pull the villagers. TaToH does get one villager. These villagers are going to pull themselves as well. Interesting. Okay, so Vivi reacting with a house and deleting a house and now adding a new house just to make sure TaToH cannot move any further. Now, I think this is going to end up being okay for Vivi. I mean, that hurts and it's awkward, but I think any archers or skirmishers that Vivi was going to end up making, they're going to do very well in the front right now. So it's 1-to-1 with Eco KD because of that, and TaToH could end up losing everything here. The TaToH's going to lose all 3 of these, so it's worth it for Vivi to have played this out this way. Plus, TaToH doesn't have access to shorefish, so TaToH just really showing maybe a lack of experience in this map.
Salve.
TaToH tempted to run through there, Vivi, with that defensive play we know him for. Was able to deal with that. Just a little awkward in terms of getting housed and whatnot, but I think now you can send range units back home to deal with TaToH. And now you've got water control. You've got shorefish control. This should be Vivi's game. TaToH's just kind of playing this like Arabia right now. He's playing it like a land map. So he is, I'm of course exaggerating. He is going to try and get on the water here with War Galley, but if Vivi does the same, you should see the ranged upgrades out of the archer range and blacksmith like Bodkin Arrow. We should see War Galley as well. I could see a player like Vivi getting overconfident and adding fish as opposed to, yeah, adding more fishing chips as opposed to getting the water upgrades, which could allow TaToH a comeback. Because Vivi only sees one dock. But he's getting that upgrade. He knows TaToH's got some archers over here. Seems like it's going to be okay. But this army is still over here for TaToH. And you never know with the Golden Woodlines rangeable what TaToH's capable of there. What's up, Bored Sheep Fishberry? Good morning, good morning. What time is it for my viewers right now? Actually, might be a really good time for the people who normally can't make the streams because of it being too late or too early for them. It might be like 11 p.m. or around midnight for my Australian audience, if any of them have stopped by today. Guys, the top 8 from the previous main event, as Vivi kind of throws away some crossbows here. And maybe it was because he was distracted on this side. The top 8 from the previous main event of RedBull are already in the event. So that means chat might need to help me out with getting the full top 8 as TaToH's getting cleared up on water. Still distracted by this crossbow. But I believe it's, you have Leary, Doubt, Viper, Velez. Okay, Leary, Doubt, Viper, Velez, ACCM, Vinchester. That's 6. Who else am I missing here? I didn't say Hera, and then I think Yo. Yeah. So they don't need to qualify. They'll already be in that main event in 2 weeks' time, and everyone else is trying to join them. And I think this qualifier might be a little bit more confusing than others for people because they're not used to seeing some of these names have to qualify. Like TaToH. Like TaToH's someone who in other events is normally top 8. Hasn't had to qualify. But he didn't have his best run. They didn't do too well, and there were a few upsets in that Wololo event. So, what's going on, Big J? Thank you for the 13. Also, Lisa, Matt. Oh, this is I'm literally thanking subs from yesterday. I thought I saw Lisa yesterday. It's like there's not many Lisas in chat. Sorry, Lisas, if you felt like there were many of you. Thank you, Feudal Noodle. One of my favorite names for the 3-month resub. 50 eco versus 48. 19 military or 20 military versus 14. Did MBL qualify? He qualified last weekend. Last weekend we had MBL, TaToH. Shoot. Dude, you know, this is why I write things down. MBL, TaToH as Vivi's moving in here. Dogao and what? Oh, Jordan. Yes, Jordan qualified. And Jordan qualified for his first, which is exciting for him. So 3 town centers now for Vivi, but that transition's just going to be so much greater here. Vivi's food eco is just so smooth. You do want to switch into farms and maybe additional fishing ships, honestly. But TaToH just trying to work with farms right now. And TaToH just lost 2 villagers to skirmishers. So doesn't have an offensive way to threaten Vivi because he was only making crossbows. Elite skirms counter that. And we even see armor coming in for that. And I think this is a good decision from the Fat Dragon to drop a siege workshop. I don't like that TaToH can see it. I'd prefer it be here. Because I'm pretty sure TaToH can see that. That's a little sloppy, but the siege workshop in the end is still going to be okay. TaToH needed it anyway, so we might have a siege off. Ooh, these skirms could kill vills here. Like that villager is not going to be able to finish his house foundation, and the skirms can run in. That's going to be annoying for TaToH. So while he sees the siege workshop on the front, he is going to need to pull his siege back to deal with this because Vivi's going to run in and be very annoying there. Misasa says, what sets will be casted today? Good question. So we have TaToH and Vivi now. After that is... I think it was supposed to be whoever wins Fire and Slam against whoever won Velaz and Ganji. I assume everything went smoothly with Fire and Slam. I didn't look at the bracket yet, though. I did not look at the bracket yet. So I think that... trying to think through here. I know that Velaz ended up beating Ganji. And Slam ended up winning. Do you know what the score is? You know what the score was there? Okay, so Slam ended up making it through. Cool. So yeah, it will be a good opportunity there for both players to make it in their first RedBull Wololo. I don't think Slam's made it into any of them. And I know Velaz hasn't, so... Yeah, and then we have Bad Boy and Song. And then the... Don't we have Nikov today? Nikov against somebody. Nikov and... Who would Nikov be up against? Act. Oh, yeah. Now, the order should be on Liquipedia. I don't remember the exact order. I think the order that was posted yesterday might even have changed because of player time schedules. As Vivi, man, has great economy, great military control. TaToH's going to go guard tower defense to protect from the siege. And Vivi's like, that's not your biggest problem, buddy. Your biggest problem is this castle I'm about to drop on your face. You will not be able to take your main gold. Guard tower is something TaToH's known for. He loves to do that defensively. He's also known for doing well on water maps, but I have to say, this map, the approaches look really poor. That said, the Mangonel doing good for now. I mean, both Mangonels are getting good value. Skirmishers are going down. Villagers have gone down. There you go, though. TaToH loses his Mangonel. Doesn't get a kill. Castle will go up. 78 Eco versus 75. And I think... What's the key decision now for Vivi after this chat? There's one thing that should instantly happen. Say it quick, because it might happen if he's thinking about it. Go Imp. Go up to Imp. Yes. Stonks it up. Go up to Imp. There it is. And it's just perfect for Byzantines, right? It's so cheap for you to go Imperial. You have that solid food eco behind this. And, you know, the approach for TaToH to defend from something like this is to go Imperial yourself. So if you just win that race, you're going to have the Trebs first. You already have the forward position. With a forward castle, you either want to A, deny resources, or B, get a position and then go Imperial Age for Trebs. Vivi has done A and B. Denying resources and also going up to Imperial. While it is also a little cheaper for Italians to go up to Imp compared to other civs, it is not as cheap as it is for Byzantines. And to me, it looks like this is going to end up being 1-1, moving on to game 3. Both players with kind of shaky approaches on the on their losses. I sped through the first game from Vivi and TaToH, but Vivi looked a little shaky there. TaToH, I mean, I was just sitting here like, what's your decision? What's your plan? I was very confused by TaToH's decision-making here. I mean, maybe he was expecting to do more damage, but I feel as though even if he killed 3 villagers with those archers, his villagers are never going to be protected out here. And enemy villagers, even if there's fewer of them, is going to be more efficient because they can take the shore fish. I say more efficient. Vivi really went crazy, though. He's got like 10 villagers on 1 fish right now. Elbanovix says, according to Viper, TaToH's biggest fear was not having played several of the maps more than a couple times. That makes sense because TaToH didn't play last weekend. And it's pretty clear here. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to say, to show that TaToH doesn't understand the map. I feel like, though, if you look at the map, if you just load it up in single player and look at this map, you have to know you can't just go archers as an opening, right? So that's what's weird to me. You would expect TaToH, even having not played it before, to have a pretty good understanding on what the go-to is there. Now, Vivi currently has a lot of skirmishers. Skirmishers are great against archers, but he's rams down one of the ranges. So, he doesn't see this range really being utilized. So he should expect something else now from TaToH in the Imperial Age. TaToH has more on food. TaToH has solid gold count. TaToH overall has somehow been able to get a similar eco. And that Treb's going to take out TaToH's TC, and TaToH wants to go for condotieros. Little concerned for Vivi. Because you can't make hand cannons against condos. Technically, they counter hand cannons, but they'd be good against skirms, too. I think the big thing that the Fat Dragon needs right now is some crossbows. Of course, upgrade those to Arbalest. You're already getting those ranged upgrades. Why not? Vivi about to get relic number 3, by the way. Both players ended up getting 2 relics somehow. TaToH adding a siege workshop and getting chemistry, too. So I think we're going to see TaToH on Bombard Cannon Condottiero. And Vivi took out the TC. TaToH immediately builds a mill. Okay, Vivi should know that Bombard Cannon's coming because he can see the Siege Workshop. If someone's making additional Siege Workshop right now, they're probably just waiting for chemistry to complete. Now, you do have 2 castles with Byzantines. So you could go Cataphracts, but remember how many villagers Vivi had in the middle? Is he transitioning them into farms now? His food eco's not really that great. It's like the power spike was awesome to get him to imp when he was able to, but he relied on the shorefish for some of that, and now he only has 23 on food, 30 on wood. Is going arbs though, and I think having arbs with skirms is going to be enough. I mean, you've got the Treb position. Really tough for TaToH to break out from here. Vivi's even going to get a heads up as he snipes that monk. That Condottiero is the choice for TaToH. Reacts with these 4 arbs. Fire ships will help out here a little bit. Fire ships are actually going to be sick here. And maybe even a demo or 2. Give TaToH a taste of his own medicine for once. TaToH loves his demos. You see 1 Cataphract over there, so that's good. And the Condottieros, they're just passing. Actually, this is really smart from TaToH. One of the best things you can do if you're having trouble at home is leave home. That is not relationship advice, by the way. Stay home, work it out, maybe see a therapist. But like, if you go over to Vivi's base, Vivi's not going to have anything here. And as that... What? I don't understand that at all. But there's some panic, right? And then so TaToH's next wave is going to be massed at home. And maybe there's going to be an opportunity for him to push this back. Vivi getting out Cataphracts, though. Twitch chat, if we could so kindly get some Capafract spam going, that would be wonderful. And villagers could overchop the trees. There's opportunities for TaToH to get villager kills and thus distract Vivi on the front. And if TaToH can get the distractions in to the point where he can take these castles out as a follow-up, how big would that be? Cataphracts have very low base attack, if they're not elite. Just 9 attack, so... the Condottieros actually have higher base attack than these Cataphracts, and Vivi maybe not closing this game out as easily as one should, but I honestly just need to say really good play from TaToH. And I can understand kind of that slight overconfidence from Vivi. Your TCs are going to have bracers, so you're going to shoot down the condos if they get close to that. You can send the arbs back, and then he's still really focusing. He actually was able to win the Bombard Cannon War here. He's still very focused on keeping his castles up. Definitely a case of tossing away some units here or there, having it look sloppy just because the player knows that they're going to be okay and they have the position. This CC, I wonder if it will ever complete, but it would be on a gold. And there's extra gold there if you didn't notice in that middle area. And TaToH keeps his castle up and will take those trebuchets down. 60 army versus 34, though. There's still a castle over here. The TC is going to go down. It feels like TaToH's going to keep losing a lot of eco. And the cataphract numbers are probably only going to climb. And Arbalest with the castles, all that's very good. Vivi had sent a big group of Arbs back home. So TaToH bought himself time, but has he been able to accomplish what he needed with that time? What he needed there was to be able to take out both castles to have a chance. Doesn't seem like that's really working for him here. 40 population lead for Vivi. Better tech as well, right? Better tech and better position. Arb's definitely the answer. I think Cataphract was good here. You don't need to make too many of them to hold off the condos, but the most important thing is Arbalest. You know, Arbalest is going to have more than enough of an impact. I think that Vivi could have done some safer things, like maybe another castle at home, maybe some stone walls if TaToH countered, but Vivi knew the map. Vivi knew an approach here, and maybe understood that TaToH, having not played last weekend, wouldn't have a good opening here. Very unlike TaToH to lack understanding on any map that incorporates water, as we'll move on to game number 3 with the score tied up 1-1. But yeah, here's the eco. I wish I could show you what the food count looked like right here. Actually, can I do that? Is that going to work? Let's try it. Let's go to 16 minutes. I don't think it will. I think it only shows the end game. Nah. I think at that stage, the food count was so much higher for Vivi because of the shorefish and fishing ships. But ultimately, the end game statistics, Vivi had more stone and gold control. And TaToH tried. He tried to expand his farming eco back here, but there's only so much space. He didn't really work up towards an option which would excite him. All right. Sorry, I got to close out of this game now. And game number 3 should be starting soon. Man, it's so cool how I can go back in games now. Capture Age Pro is amazing. Like, my only regret from Hidden Cup 4 is that I didn't use that a little more, you know? But I wasn't used to it. It had come out just a couple days ahead of time. And there's so many other things I was focusing on during Hidden Cup 4 that it kind of went to the back burner. But all right, for TaToH's home maps, TaToH has Meadow. TaToH has Lowland, and he has Ring Fortress. And all these maps are very different from each other. Should be able to get... here, we'll just pull it up on Wikipedia at the moment. So just to show you what Meadow looks like. Meadow, pretty open. Actually, very open. You tend to see a lot of scout plays there. Ring Fortress, you actually start with an unfinished fortress. So that's pretty closed. TaToH likes to wall it up there. And then, did I say Lowland was the other one? Yeah. Lowland, you've got that lowland in the middle. And you've got the high ground to boom on. So it's like Meadow's super aggressive. Lowland's in between. And then Ring Fortress is probably one of the more defensive maps we have in the tournament. Okay. Mars, thank you for the 18 months. Thank you, Big J. Dr. Wanjek says, Viper has double the viewers at the moment, 11. Okay. I'm happy for him. He deserves it. Every new caster deserves some viewership. But what's the point of showing up to someone's stream and saying something like that? Is that constructive? Is Viper's double the skill? Double? Come on. Come on, double. Please. I don't know about double. I'll have you know, I am undefeated against Viper in ranked games. Undefeated. And the evidence is online. I wouldn't lie about that. That's true. Now, granted, I am not high enough rated to really get a game with him. Because for a 2K1 player to get a rating against a 2K5 player, Viper would have to be in queue for about 8 minutes. But damn you, sensitive. This is Bird Boss. Oh, Bird Boss. Bird Boss, Bird Boss. Okay, 4 messages in the channel. Ever. And one of them was damn you, sensitive. The very first message that Bird Boss sent in this channel on the 4th of April was you grumpy kid. Now, I could be taking this out of context. And this maybe it was a joke. And I was telling a story about when I was a kid. But I feel like maybe we've got a negative Nancy amongst this chat. That was the very first message on the channel. Was you grumpy kid. Okay. Well, listen, I don't know what's going on in your life, but I hope you have a good day. Okay. I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. Thank you, Pleco, for 16. Appreciate it. Maybe I was telling a story about when I was a kid. I don't know. Maybe I was talking about like me being a brat growing up. We've all had those days, right? Growing up. I think I was probably incredibly annoying to deal with from the age of, I don't know, like 2 to 16. So, all right, Lowland it is next. And Victorian, thank you.
You grumpy kid.
Listen, I've hit a point as a streamer, like 4 years ago. If someone said
Did
something,
someone say 16?
I just wouldn't acknowledge it. And granted, there are things I don't acknowledge now. That's just how it goes. But also, I've been streaming for 6 years. So some of the weird things Twitch chat says sometimes, I can't help but just not respond to them, right? Maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's wrong of me. But it's the internet, and it's very easy for people on the internet to just type something out with very little, with like no ramifications to it. And so I feel like, you know, if I'm speaking up here, I should be able to do something similar. It's all in good jest. It's all in good fun. But that's why I do that from time to time. And I think for some of you, it might even be somewhat entertaining. All right. So in the red, we've got Vivi. This is going to be consistent throughout the whole best of 7. And then in the yellow, we have Indians. Did I just say Indian? We have TaToH playing as Indians. Sorry, Berbers versus Indians. Berbers is a pretty standard pick for this. It's standard for this and a map called Eruption. And both of those maps have lots of important areas in the middle. And so the approach I've seen from Berbers throughout these settings, as TaToH considers trying to snipe a villager there, is just don't do an awful lot until Castle Age. You can see even Vivi has left his scout at home. That way, if TaToH tries to attack a villager, he has a scout to protect. You start with the barracks in this game mode, right? So if you really are worried about more scouts, you can make spearmen. And yeah, this is fairly common for Berbers. Just wall up. Do not make that stable like TaToH clearly has. And just try and get to the next stage. And then that's where you have cheap knights. That's where you have cheap camels. And there's a hole here, guys. I don't know why. Vivi must have deleted that for some reason and forgot about it. Oh, man, that's a sloppy mistake. Might not even end up losing a villager, but think of the efficiency of TaToH's economy compared to Vivi's right now. Vivi's had 4 or 5 villagers walling. These villagers aren't on deer yet. And those villagers had to be pulled away. And now these scouts are going to be annoying, too. Yeah, this is a sloppy start for Vivi. And exactly what TaToH would have wanted. Just TaToH made a stable, and TaToH's invested into scouts. But I like how he stopped at 2. I also do like the patience of the scouts as well. It's almost better to annoy Vivi and make sure his eco is not efficient than it is to get a villager kill and then be done with your scouts. Yeah, so Razzle T, this entire tournament is all Empire Wars. As TaToH's even forcing more idle time underneath the TC. It's all feudal age start with 27 pop. So RedBull Wololo has different settings. And I honestly know as a caster, I need to look here right now because it's my job to show you what's happening. But the amount of anxiety I'm getting because of TaToH's scout is killing me here, guys. Look at this eco. Still got an idol over here. Finally, the scout goes down. But these villagers are chopping the other side of the wood line. These villagers, there's like 4 spearmen underneath the TC. It's pretty brutal to watch. So TaToH will be very happy with that. And actually, even though he's invested more into military, having made the stable and made the scouts, TaToH ends up having the better castle age time at the end of the day. So I think TaToH was just put himself in a great position. And Vivi was very sloppy with that opening. And that tree is at 20 wood. TaToH loses the scout, though. Yeah, it might be an overchop, but it's only 2 scouts. So, the one thing I'll say is TaToH's not walled. He's not committed any time to walling. And then he also sold 100 stone to go up pretty quickly here, which means if he's going to add additional town centers, he can only add 1. It's a little weird to me how he sold the stone, but I think he felt so much pressure because he's expecting Vivi to be up to Castle Age faster than him. So he probably felt the pressure to get to Castle Age quickly. He doesn't know right now how good that opening was for him, but he'll know when he sees how delayed Vivi is. And okay, so it will be double stable for Vivi, which is a good approach. Now, Vivi also had to sell some stone. And Vivi, when looking at that price, if you paid attention to it, should realize if you're getting 89 gold per 100 stone, that means TaToH sold 100 stone. Because when you sell the first 100 stone, the market price gives you 91 gold. So there might be some idea that this is going to be somewhat YOLO. Indians cannot make knights. They can make camels. And their camels are high pierce armors, so they're good against archers. We're not going to see many archers here. So, what you probably do in Vivi's position is just make your own camels. And try and mass more, because they're cheaper. Which kind of sucks, right? Because you want to YOLO with Berbers, and you want to kill Vils. How are you going to accomplish villager kills with camels? It's not really the best raiding tool. Okay. We shall see. Lots of spearmen might make TaToH think that the enemy might go pikemen. But I think if you force Berbers to go pikemen instead of relying on just their stable units, it's a bit like it's like forcing Britons to go into knights, you know? You're like, great, I'm really happy that Britons are not playing with their best unit right now. It's kind of the same with this situation. So TaToH going to come down here to the lowlands. And he's going to take that golden wood line. And here he is knocking on the door. And Vivi's best response to this, best way to come back from this. Does TaToH want to take that fight? He's trying to be cute here. He must have a monastery at home. I think that's a little risky. Best way for Vivi to get numbers out is go for 3 stables, which is what we're seeing. Monastery for Vivi is a good approach. When you're going stable units, you tend to see lots of monks out. And I think TaToH already has his monk on the way. Which, I was thinking he'd send the weak camels back to heal up, which is why he was trying to take those fights. Pikemen as well for Vivi. So, you know what this could be, guys? If Vivi realizes TaToH has the TC, which probably should come in a moment. TaToH going for conversion there. Actually won't get it. I think what Vivi should do is go for a siege push. Oh, the pikemen get some big hits in here. And yeah, look at the military count. Come forward with 2 Vils and make a siege workshop and try and push that TC down. Actually, TaToH's also not fully walled over here, so you might want to forget about siege push and actually raid with camels. TaToH doesn't get a conversion there, and TaToH, it was a good opening for him, and adding the second town center is great, but he's going to need military and monks to defend himself here. There's the siege workshop. Now that's... Vivi's tilting me with this. In the previous game... Oh, never mind. Never mind. TaToH can't see it. But if you remember in the previous game, as TaToH's out of the 3rd town center now, Vivi's siege workshop was within TaToH's line of sight, and so TaToH knew it was coming. Somehow TaToH can't see that. I can't explain that, but it's really close. That says, don't you think Empire Wars is boring because games are often decided so quickly and kind of linear? I prefer standard settings. I don't think it's boring. I think it's different. I think if Empire Wars was the standard, I would not like that. I like them both for different reasons. Some people might argue, you could make an argument that Standard Age of Empires is more boring because it's slower. So it just depends what you're into, man. Some people like the settings more. Some people like the settings less. Some people like me think that it's a good change of pace. I think what makes this special is we don't see it a lot. If we saw it all the time, it would be a problem. So 10 villager lead for TaToH. Like Leo says, Empire Wars is more exciting for viewing. I disagree with that statement. I don't think either one is like better or worse. I think that they're just different. But again, everyone's going to have a different outlook. And TaToH might have a 10 villager lead, but that 10 villager lead would all disappear if you were to lose this right here. So, as the pikemen go down and TaToH's military numbers have recovered, what happens here? And Vivi gets 2 villagers, and TaToH's TC is going to start to melt. TaToH's only had camels and monks. He's now getting redemption. Great move. With redemption, monks can then convert enemy siege. He does have some monks out here, but kind of panic mode here, right? He has to add a monastery behind this. We'll have to repair this TC. This is Vivi's perspective. Cannot see the monastery. TaToH, this is just so... It's just... I don't know if greedy's the word, but it's just so crazy how these guys are able to do these small things that balance it out. It feels like he's going to snag this relic, which will be his first relic, and then try and use all 3 monks at the same time. But if I were him, I'd say it's more important that I need the monk here now. I'm not going to get that relic until after something happens with the fight. And it looks like 1 Mangonel's converted, 2 Mangonel's converted. Siege push maybe not as much of a problem now. And for TaToH, is he going to be able to take out the 3rd Mangonel? Is he going to have camel numbers remaining here? Seems like that fight could have been better for Vivi. He had pikemen there, but he fought with the pikemen without his own camels. And now he's sitting here on this with this 1 TC YOLO play, probably thinking, well, if I can't kill that town center, TaToH's got 2 more. Is TaToH just going to overwhelm me with numbers eventually? Really poor fight for TaToH to take here, I think. Really poor fight for him to take. Weaken some of his camels, but he has 72 villagers. Now, I noticed Vivi's gone to stone. And this is not for a second TC because the 100 stone's been there for a while. So I think this is so this YOLO push continues. And we might see a follow-up with a castle drop. Now, if a castle would have gone down here, there's no way TaToH stops that. TaToH needs to work his way towards higher military numbers. That is a big concern for him long-term, but in theory, he should be able to get there, right, with his eco. And he's going to go pikeman. Yeah, good switch for him. See Vivi getting armor. Final armor in Castle Age for the camels. TaToH losing a camel to a conversion. Could lose camels to get this next monk. Takes out the Mangonel. I mean, TaToH's losing a lot of his military to take out siege and monks right now. He doesn't have anything now. I think that he's been overly greedy with these snipes. Just making the wrong decisions. His monks now don't have any protection. The TC could go down. TaToH's villagers, and I know they're cheap, but the villagers are here to try and take out the rams. What in the world is this? The villagers are back inside the TC. These villagers are getting hit. That ram's actually on 1 HP. Another ram comes in. I don't know where this ram is going for Vivi. This is crazy. TaToH has 20 extra villagers, but he also has 20 idols right now. And if he loses this town center, his vill lead will disappear. And then he will not have lowlands control. I don't see any way TaToH changes what's happening on our screen right now. He's either going to lose villagers as he takes out rams, and they're not working. Or he loses the TC, and he loses the villagers, and then the villagers cannot work because they're in the grave. Like, doing what TaToH's doing right now feels like it's just inevitable the TC's going to go down. Unless he gets more military. He's got pikemen out, guys. Maybe the pikemen will do it, but he's trickling them in. Oh, man. TC now at 700 HP, 500 HP. Another ram on the way. Scorpions would make sense for Vivi. But he seems really set on trying to take out that town center, which will happen now. It does happen. Villagers scramble away. What a game we have here. And what a series. You know, I'll be honest. I didn't think Vivi would be making the right calls in these types of situations today. This is a really good call for him. And now if the enemy is only going pikes, if you drop a castle with Berbers, you can go camel archers, which just seems like the perfect switch. Sending archers out for pikes plus mobile archers is sick. Now another TC for TaToH, who still has a 15 villager lead. And this is on stone. And oh my god, wait a second. This might not go up. Is this going to go up? Vivi needs to make sure he has military numbers. He's going to drop this castle in TaToH's face. But it's not like... Oh, man, no, he's going to win that fight. He is going to win that fight. And then he'll have rams underneath the castle. If he has rams underneath the castle... Oh, wait, no. This is what I was thinking about. He doesn't have enough here. Vivi, you got to quick wall those vills, man. If he would have castled the middle, everything would be fine, right? Castle the middle, everything's fine. It's not that big a deal. You've already done damage, and then you can make camel archers. But you're not going to make a single attempt to protect your villagers with walls. The pikemen finally added up for TaToH. But then again, pikemen are really good poor against villagers. This castle's going up. This castle will go up regardless. And actually, he didn't lose too many villagers in the process. And then all of TaToH's pikemen are in harm's way. His buildings are going to get rammed down. His monastery, which has a relic, is going to get rammed down. And now Vivi can also make camel archers. crazy, crazy, crazy stuff here. I think TaToH was a little quick to the third TC. I know with Indians, your villagers are cheap, so you think you can do that. But he just lacked military numbers. You gotta expect some type of a YOLO play from Vivi. So instead of going for a 3-town center lead, maybe just go for 2. And I think if you go for 2, you're gonna have a Vill lead, and you can at least defend yourself. More town centers for TaToH. Again, he's got a Civ that is so good at rebooming because the villagers get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper every age.
Namaste.
No fletching yet for Vivi. Vivi sees that town center and will move around over here. And TaToH will lose all these buildings on the front, like I said, and he's just going to go for siege defense right now. Also added a ram. I think a part of TaToH is thinking about ram pushing this down, but that's going to be tough. The reason TaToH added the tower was because he thought for a moment there he could deny the castle. He thought with pikemen and a tower he could deny it. And those are like split-second decisions. You have to decide right away. So it kind of, I mean, for a moment there, it looked to us like the pikemen and tower might have been able to do it. But pikemen are just so weak against Vills. And okay, Vivi did not know there was a town center, but kills one villager. And should kill another one here. And now has another spot for another castle if need be. But I think Vivi should go for a TC at some point, right? Like, I don't know. Doesn't really have the eco setup that makes me think, like, second TC is all that doable. Only 18 on food. And he's just going to transfer more to stone. And now, if these rams were repaired, and I think Vivi's sending in villagers to repair them, you could actually just go round 2 here. He's mixing in knights. Oh, yeah, this is such a sick game for Vivi, man. Who needs booming, man? Who needs eco? None of that's important. At the same time, TaToH's trying to think about a ram push to ram this down. It would be pretty funny if TaToH loses these TCs and then Vivi loses the castle. But Vivi's got knights, camel archers, and could always make... I think if you're worried about that type of a push from TaToH, you should have a Mangonel behind your castle. But he does not know. He's more focused on this. And TaToH might see this as his opportunity to push that castle down. It's so funny to me how players make building foundations to delay when siege comes in, because building foundations are what siege counters. But it does buy a little bit of time, so it makes sense. TaToH looping the pikes around with the Mangonel here. And 5 rams is the magic number. If you're going to go for something like this, 5 rams is the way to go in Castle Age. Oh, man. Really poor fight for those knights for Vivi, but he does take out the TC. He also might take out the Mangonel. TaToH's villagers are not going to like that, though, and they're going to go in for repairs here. But the Camel Archer should be able to take out the Mangonel pretty quickly, I think, if he were to focus fire that. Most of the pikemen are disappearing. TaToH about to make his move. He might load pikemen up into the rams. TaToH still ahead in villagers, but so many of them idle. 3 hours of idle time. And there's still more siege here to take out the next TC. And Vivi says, who needs that? When I could drop another castle. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Ambulance for TaToH. I don't know what got into me there. I've never said those words before in my life, but this is crazy, man. And TaToH's going to go for his own castle, but that's not going to work because the Camel Archers are there. So basically, Vivi's going to lose this castle. TaToH's going to get excited. TaToH's not going to get this castle up. Vivi's going to get excited, and then Vivi's just going to have another castle anyways. I mean, I suppose, look at this cheeky move, villager repairing the ram. I suppose that TaToH could try and swing his rams in here next. Is this actually going to go down? Feels like that's going to go down. Yeah, it goes down, but I don't think TaToH's going to have enough to follow this up with. Look at that eco KD. And with all this aggression, the Fat Dragon has 80 eco, and TaToH now has 82. These villagers are running away. TaToH doesn't have wheelbarrows, so they are so painfully slow. Quick, guys, invent the wheelbarrow so we can run away from the enemy faster. Vivi's got to be careful not to lose this castle. That's a lot of pike ram. And most of the camel archers are chasing this down. I honestly think you only need like 3 camel archers here. As we see Vivi going for supplies. So wait, is he going to go longsword with camel archer? And TaToH's coming. Oh my god. Oh my god, this might be TaToH's only way back, honestly. Because otherwise, I think he's dead. So he's going to try and get a castle down here. So he's sending in more vills. And he's brought in his rams with his pikes. This is sick. TaToH's castle goes up. And Vivi's castle could easily go down. If TaToH brings this back with this type of a gutsy play, what a moment, man. Yeah, these villagers over here, some of them actually still survived. Knights, Camel Archers kind of in an awkward spot. Villagers in an awkward spot too. TaToH at 80 villagers, 38 military. Vivi at 21. What is this game, dude? What is this game? Like, I'm not uploading most of these games to YouTube. You know, it's 4 best of 7s is 10 hours, and it's just a lot of stuff. So, but I'm thinking as far as individual games go, this is incredible. Like now, and now Vivi's longsword play makes a whole lot less sense because TaToH has a castle up. It's hard to push with infantry there. Camel Archers in the back of TaToH's eco, but Vivi very distracted. So imagine there's going to be either a loss of Camel Archers or a loss of vills here. And it seems like it's going to be a loss of vills and maybe a loss of a TC. As we see a university here for Vivi. Who's still only on men-at-arms right now. Longsword is on the way, though. Look at the idle time for both players. 4 hours, 4.5 hours of idle time for TaToH. And 2 hours of idle time for Vivi. But I can't help but notice that Vivi just lacked siege behind his castles. To invest into the Camel Archers and then not be able to make them now really hurts. I think that was his biggest mistake, is not having siege behind his castles. But wow. TaToH kind of abandoning most of his upper land eco to come to the middle now. And he's going to drop a castle. He's going to drop a castle. And Vivi is just... He's really struggling to deal with this situation. For every Camel Archer that's lost, he cannot replenish it at this point, right? There's no way that castle gets denied. Even by the moon-rolling Maganel. That Maganel means business. Maganel Jackson over there. And now Vivi's going to have to relocate villagers. And that Maganel is going to go down. So you finally get a Maganel forward. And then it does that. Brutal. I think both economies are definitely in states of shock right now. Like, the villagers probably cannot believe they're still alive, while at the same time feeling like they, I don't even know what to say right now, honestly. Vivi is going to get another castle, but TaToH's got 2. And now he's adding stables again. He's got decent food and gold eco to maybe make camels. And Vivi is trying to run around with the Camel Archers, who, if they get hit by pikemen, will die. So TaToH's just trying to make a little trap for him. Oh my goodness, what a play again from TaToH. Crazy game here, man. It was like he dreamt that up. It was all part of his plan. And it's a trap, ladies and gentlemen. The Camel Archer goes down. Ah! Another castle! And that castle's gonna go up too! And then the longswords are coming in. They're like, well, I heard we had a job. We don't know where the pikemen are, but we're here. And this is going to go up. And that's going to deny everything that TaToH has in the middle. So TaToH now can't take wood. TaToH now can't take gold. TaToH now needs rams. And Vivi needs to get freaking Maganels behind here, man. He needs to get 2 Maganels behind his castle. Look, TaToH's going to make rams. If Vivi doesn't make Maganels behind there, I'm going to scream. Even more than I already am screaming. As TaToH comes over. Nice low elo legend mining camp. I like it. No, listen, guys. If people misplace farms, not that I know anyone who does. If people misplace buildings in general in the late game, it's because their APM is because they're so fast, they can't pay attention to small things like this. This is trivial. It's not important. So really, the players who make the biggest mistakes are really the fastest players with most potential. That's all I'm trying to say. 113 population versus 90. TaToH is well behind in eco and army now. But he's going to ram this down, I think. And Vivi refuses to add Maganels behind castles, which makes me very upset. Like, I want to say Vivi has the eco lead. I wanted to say TaToH had the eco lead. But, like, the lack of efficiency with their economies are insane. Vivi's got 47 on wood. So you're going to need to get some of that into farms, pull villagers off of wood, and get that into gold and stone. You know, Vivi holding on. I guess he needs some use of the longswords and villagers that are here. So, wow, TaToH calls it. TaToH calls it. You know, longswords and knights were in the back. That would have done some damage. Here, Vivi had just noticed this with some longswords, so TaToH couldn't take gold. TaToH was essentially goldless in a moment because he would be off this back gold and just couldn't. It didn't seem like he had enough to push this castle down in the end. Vivi had more middle control, and what a game that was. Seriously, that was insane. If this game ends up going to YouTube, I'm going to make sure that I have the full best of 7 for those that are interested on the YouTubes. And again, this is a best of 7 to see who makes it into Red Bull Wololo 4. None of that is on none of the main events ever on my channel. It's always on the Red Bull channel, but exciting times for Age of Empires. But is Vivi back? But listen, I know there's a lot of people out there who were all on the Jordan is back train, you know, when Jordan returned. Vivi, his peak days, the peak fat dragon, fat pig, whatever you call them back then days of 2018, 2019. And I would have gone into this best of 7 saying that TaToH, I think I said yesterday, TaToH to win 4-2. To see Vivi up 2-1 right now, and you could even make arguments that Indians counter Berbers in a lot of ways. A little bit of a surprise to me, guys. And let's look at the statistics. Yeah, I mean, you've got gold and stone income, and that's really all she wrote, right? That's what that map's about. TaToH just didn't do enough to secure it. I think he went to the third TC a little early, personally. When you invest 275 wood into a town center, that's expensive. And then you need resources to produce out of it to justify it. You go for 2 additional town centers right away in Castle Age. You better make sure that you're going to have military there, and he just didn't. He didn't have enough anyways. A lot of that, though, could have been the power of Berbers and how many of those camels they're able to mass. Okay. Yeah, one of the best games of the qualifier so far for me in terms of how back and forth it was. I like the commitment from Vivi with that 1 TC aggression. It's what was needed to win, but it's such a rare thing in our meta to see that 1 TC YOLO. Yep, didn't go Imp. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, maybe, like, with the amount that was going on, Imp never felt realistic. If that game would have continued for another 10 minutes, it would have never crossed my mind that Imp could be a thing because they lost so many castles. They invested so much. All right, well, the next one will be on Meadow, I'm seeing. This will be TaToH's home map. So Meadow is an open map, and when you're thinking Meadow, you're thinking scouts typically. And I'll go over to the Civ draft scene. We'll eliminate the Civs that were used. TaToH losing with Indians. Vivi winning with Berbers. In terms of when they were picked, Berbers were picked very high for Vivi, so I suppose that's good. I have seen Saracens utilized on Meadow before. But it was by Spring, so I don't really know if TaToH sees a strategy from Spring and says, hey, I'm going to copy that. But there does seem to be some crazy Saracen play on this map where you wall yourself, tower yourself, and make a bunch of archers and buy yourself to Castle Age. I think that could be a good play. But I think we're going to see something like Slavs or Huns or Khmer for Vivi, and he'll see him go Scouts. TaToH could go Franks, but I think we're going to have something wacky here from TaToH. Like, he'll save Franks for another map. Could be wrong. Be very surprised to hear if the game started, because they were just in the lobby a moment ago. Yo, is that the T90? I heard he's pretty cool, but I don't know, fam. Seems like a guy with weird farm placement. Well, thank you, Jasper, for the bits. You know, if you're gonna make fun of me, then and toss 1,000 bits my way, I'll take it. I essentially was just paid to be insulted right there. Not a bad career choice, guys. Yeah, they haven't started yet. Basto, they haven't started yet. Guys, it's not that my farms are bad. It's that I set the trend for Khmer, okay? I was placing poor farms that weren't next to mills before Khmer ever received that balance change. I gave devs ideas. And I also give them other ideas I wish that they would follow. Like spec chat. That'd be great. Julius Caesar, thank you for 16. Thank you, Krimat. Thank you, King. Thank you, Himershinta. Scraggles, Sabosi, Red Shark Skin, and Hakun Raccoons. Hakun, or Hack. Thank you. Played against a player with 1900 elo in this tourney, and I'm 970. And he came and killed 2 of my sheep. Thoughts? My first thought is, why are you playing against someone who's 1,000 elo higher in a tourney? Oh, this tourney. Ah, yeah. Okay, who was it? Out the person. If they're 1900, I probably know them. If I ever play them in a ranked game, I can give them crap for it. I mean, listen, tournaments, if you get into that tournament mindset, oh, it was Adam? Makes sense. Listen, having played Adam in tournaments before, if Adam didn't lame, Adam would be 200 elo lower. Okay, so that's my response. I was going to say something completely different about tournament mindset and taking it seriously, but I don't think Adam has ever played a game without stealing someone's resources or using the starting scout to be annoying. So I'm sorry that happened to you. I'll shoot him a message afterwards about this and say that he should be ashamed of himself, but of course it's Adam. That's so funny to me. That's so funny. I've known Adam for years. He's the worst type of player to play against. The worst. You just know you're going to lose a Village Dark Age or lose a boar or lose sheep. It's so funny. Of all people, it was Adam. I thought you'd say the player's name and I wouldn't really know them. Oh my god. Okay. Well, guys, we do have the game. It is Frank's versus Hun, so expect some scouts. And for TaToH, oh, wrong scene, sorry. For TaToH, he's down 2-1, and he's now gone. Hello? Hello? Trust me, the action's going to be great. Hello? Okay, 1 second. But yeah, scouts are probably going to be coming out here, and if TaToH loses this, he's losing on yet another home map. So I have to reopen Capture Age, which will take a second. Apparently screaming at it and saying hello doesn't fix the problem. Wiggling the cursor always helps. I know. That's what I read anyways. Okay, here you go. So what we did miss was TaToH ran into a Spearman. And I think Vivi did not do that. Yep. So Vivi in the red, added a stable. On Meadow, you have your wood line situated in this one clump. And then you're up on this hill, and there's berries everywhere. But it's like, it's perfect for roaming around with scouts. And with Frank's, there's extra berries around, so you can take advantage of the forage bonus. Plus, when you add farms, you already have the farm upgrade. So personally, I think Frank's are way better than Huns here. But not having to build houses can be really helpful. And that is something that kicks in for Huns in, I'd say, a couple minutes. That's where it starts to feel really strong. Like, TaToH actually just got temporarily housed. So, either his stable or his TC wasn't producing for a moment there. I like how Vivi's approached this so far. He hasn't gone in for any unnecessary attacks. Never mind. This is why a lot of players put their scouts on stand ground. The tower's interesting to me, but he might be expecting an archer switch. I'm not sure how I feel about the tower. But he's walled in the back wood line. The front wood line has the tower then, I guess. And then also has walled in the berries. So villagers are pretty well protected. But if you're taking fights against Franks have the extra HP on their scouts. Just feel like economically, Franks are way stronger here. And also with the scouts, they're way stronger. So should be one that TaToH takes some early advantages in. I've noticed as well that it doesn't seem like players can really afford to get Horse Collar with double bit axe. I honestly feel like since you start with so many on wood and you normally don't pull them away from whatever resource they start in these settings, I'm just wondering if it maybe makes sense to skip bit axe and get Horse Collar. It's probably always better to get bit axe because the idea of getting Horse Collar is so your farms, you don't waste as much wood because your farms will expire otherwise, but I mean, you can just skip Horse Collar, chop wood faster, and just recover from it. TaToH with his woodline walled in here. 4 scouts arriving. First time Vivi's really come forward with a purpose to get kills. I noticed that, and this is an interesting approach from Vivi. He's been mining stone with 2 villagers, so he can place towers everywhere. So there's a tower that'll go up here, too. That's a really well thought out approach, honestly. TaToH's going to leave the berries here. Now, this is my concern when you go for the berry approach. As Vivi's just... Hello? Okay, just passing. Go for the berry approach. It's great, and it feels good when your food eco is climbed high. But then if you run out of them, you're going to realize you're just relying on only 10 farms, and you're going to have to sort that out in some way. Range is now for Vivi, who's going to come forward with archers. Now, archers... This is kind of that meta with Huns where you go scouts into archers because the enemy makes spears, and then you turn that into cav archers later. And TaToH really having some problems here. He's outnumbered. Awkward for Vivi, though. I think he should maybe back away, though. The villagers against the spears is going to be good for TaToH. You don't want to lose your scout HP, but certainly annoying for TaToH, as we might see other units come forward here. I think this is a waste from Vivi to toss away the spearmen, but we'll see what happens when he brings in his own archers. It maybe got a little aggressive there, right? TaToH's on the way to Castle Age. This would be the time to hit. Will we see more scouts come forward? Will we see more archers come forward? Or will Vivi also try and go up to the next stage? Okay, let's look at TaToH's food situation. He's going to add farms on the front. Never mind. So, let's look at TaToH's scouting situation. He saw this tower, and he's thinking, oh, well, he invested into his one tower. Let's hit the back wood line. Vivi's prepared. That is actually sick. And if Vivi's really worried, we'll have enough stone for another tower, maybe in front of the gold here. And this is going to be into eventual cav archers with Huns. This could be really good. Hello, TaToH. Barion, how dare you? That's all I have to say. How dare you? Also, who was sailing over here, and how did you not make it back to land? I don't understand that situation. You're pretty much on land. How does that sink? Why were you here? What is there to explore? Is there another one down here? No, there's not. I don't get it. They hit the beach too hard? All right. Okay, all right. They ran aground. That's true. That seems legit. I'm not going to fight you on that one. Better than 3 ranges on a neutral island? How dare you? Also, very creative. I've never heard that joke before. TaToH is going to try anyways. There's actually a hole there to get some villagers. And that's unfortunate for Vivi, as the villagers seem to, for some reason, go the other way. And TaToH will love that. TaToH takes 2 villager kills despite the fact there's towers everywhere. And doesn't even lose any of this small army. But Huns are insane with CA spam. And actually, if you remember the main event of RedBull Wololo 3, Doubt was using cav archers a lot. And I remember it was actually rather fascinating because I think midway through that tournament, there was a game where someone tried to use cav archers and they died. And I think Hera tweeted out, never CA, like never cav archers. And then there was a game later on where Hera should have gone cav archers and he went longswords instead with Huns and ended up losing the game. And then Doubt won the whole freaking tournament making cav archers every other game. Like, the whole point is here is that last year, as we see, or last time, as TaToH's taking some big losses here, pros were kind of split on what they felt about cav archers. And, you know, we saw that in how they played the games. Oh, man, I didn't realize this, too, man. So much going on. Little base trades as the knights swooped in to get villagers and might even get more. And since then, there's been a cav archer buff. So cav archers actually have less firing delay than they did back at RedBull Wololo 3. So what I'm getting at here is cav archers could be seen a lot in this tournament. And could be seen a lot from Huns, right? Very cheap to mass them. But Vivi struggled with massing them off the get-go here. Ends up being rather even, though. The 7 villagers killed for both. Crossbows getting value, knights getting value, and good reaction there from Vivi to defend the woodline. I mean, there's not much to hit if you're TaToH with knights. Like, at least cav archers can run in and hit these farms here, but, like, with the way Vivi's eco's situated, granted, he needs to get more on wood. This doesn't really seem like there's many areas TaToH can can do damage in. I know he's looking for these right now. He knows they're around. He hasn't spotted them yet. He knows there's a crossbow back here. I wonder if Vivi's going to be tempted to get a TC on a woodline. I think it'd be a little early. I honestly feel like rushing ballistics is the way to go here. Make your military as strong as possible. Vivi sees the Scorpion, goes in after it. We'll take out the Scorpion. It's not bad. Definitely want to go for as many kills as you can get with these crossbows because they are going to die soon. Value's pretty good. It's always a little bit disheartening, though, when you later realize that he's healing up the knights. But if you get a knight kill... What? TaToH with the micro. And I guess, do you go for the monk now if you're these crossbows? I mean, the idle time's still worth it on the vills. Yeah, get the monks. And even TaToH microing that now. Wow, that was beautiful. That was beautiful from TaToH. Can heal up the monks, can heal up the knights, and he's as good as when he started. Those cav archers, though. Woo, man. That is a lot of cav archers. But now Vivi's had to transfer more over to wood here, which is a smart move, rewalling it just in case. TaToH working on bringing in relic number 3. All the relics are in the middle on this map. And TaToH, I think, a little unaware of what the decision is for Vivi as he comes over here to hit. He's going to get hit in the woodline, and good reaction. I think the best thing you can do if you're a Frank player against Cav Archer player is go Knights and Scorpions. So what TaToH is doing is correct. But as you can see, Scorpions can go down pretty quickly, and Cav Archers can always just run away. I think 30 is the magic number. If you get 30 Cav Archers with upgrades, it's really tough for the Knight player. So traditionally what happens is the Knight player tries to take engagements to stop that from happening. Or maybe it's or in this situation, you have an eco lead by the time the Cav Archers mass to that number. I like how Vivi's paying attention to the woodlines now. It seems like there must be a gap over here, but they don't want those Knights to dive in and get villager kills. No wood upgrade for TaToH. Yeah, he does not have his wood upgrade. Because you do not have the res to get your upgrades at the start of Feudal Age with these settings, sometimes you forget them. So you delay them, and then you end up just assuming you have them, because in every other game you play, you already have them at that stage. Ballistic's still not in for Vivi. I don't think he can comfortably move forward yet. And Scorpion's actually pretty good against Tower Fire, I think. You could actually... Monk? Oh my god, that was so funny. That guy hopped out to go back to work so the monk could have a place to sleep. That was so funny. Well played, Vivi. There's been a lot of cute little moments here from both players where they're making saves. But there, TaToH gets a conversion. Oh, man. Lacking ballistics hurts so much here for Vivi, and he misclicks. Wait, who misclicked? I think TaToH might have misclicked. I don't even know. Ballistics was in. These shots wouldn't be missing. The Knights coming in are going after the Scorpions. It feels like TaToH's diving to get value. So he could maybe do something more at home, but... What type of army is going to be remaining for the players here in a moment? Looking at the Eco KD, TaToH getting more Eco kills, but the Cav Archer number around 21 right now. The Monk hops out, doesn't get a conversion. TaToH even coming in with a Ram. That panic time for Vivi doesn't have ballistics. Missing ballistics is such a big deal right now. Not sure about that Ram. I don't think the Ram contributes too much. Vivi... Just being pushed back here, and this is what TaToH needs. He knows how dangerous Cav Archers are going to be long-term. That's what Huns are all about here in this matchup. Ballistics now 50 seconds away from coming in. Still very doable for Vivi, though, because TaToH's tossed away a lot of army. And for what? Actually, hold on a moment. TaToH gets in. And here's going to get more Vill picks. You can only fit so many villagers inside the TC, guys. Oh, big moment for TaToH. Big moment. Front. Scorpion's getting hits. Vivi's so distracted, I'm sure. Monk's even getting conversions. What a crazy game in this crazy series. But the Monks are going to go down. The Scorpions are going to go down. Huns? They're Huns. Been saying this for years, man. Don't underrate Huns. There's a reason so many people play them. First off, Huns are funs. It's fun to play. Because it's all about aggression. But... does TaToH have enough to deal with this now? Those are some very weak Cav Archers. TaToH converts one of the full HP ones. Maybe just needs to get more wood. I'd really like to see a new lumber camp here. But he needs to get more wood and get more CA out. TaToH is mining stone, so he's thinking about a town center. And I think it's going to be here, but maybe... I guess the town center in the front doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Yeah, it has to be on a wood line. Crazy game, though, guys. 75 pop versus 68. I think for TaToH, who's going into this as the favorite, he's going to want this one. Tying this up is going to be a huge sigh of relief for him. Or if he ties it up, he'll let out a huge sigh of relief. It's probably the better way of saying it. Vivi still just doesn't seem too confident to be able to push forward with everything. But we do see a small group of Cav Archers go here. I like that. Actually, looping back here would be ideal. Knights trying to get into wood lines yet again. Villagers hopping in and out of the tower. Cav Archers chasing. As you can see, the Knights are better in low numbers. If you have one Cav Archer run in to someone's eco, it's going to do a whole lot less than one Knight. So TaToH's spreading out constantly. And he's avoiding that big ball from of Vivi's Cav Archer. And has found reward in this game. The issue is, at some point, you're going to have to deal with the mass. Because if you're not engaging against it, it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so, as Vivi, I guess, doesn't realize there's not a hole there. I was a little confused by that, too. Vivi runs forward with Knights to get Scorpions. TaToH gets a very fast conversion. And then there's TaToH's Town Center. Okay. Vivi has a 5 Vil lead. Yeah, and he also has the wood upgrade. It just comes back to TaToH's TC idle time. I think he's had to choose between Knights and Villagers one too many times here. And now you're looking at 4 or 5 Scorpions on our screen. Not enough Knights for Vivi in front to be able to take out all of them. And TaToH's converting the Knights every time he sees them. But still, man. Vivi, I think, maybe needs to back away. Not even, man. Thumb Ring Cav Archers. These Cav Archers are insane. Well, hold on a moment. A lot of them are weak. Archer's backing away. Going in for that Scorpion is Vivi. Getting that. Here you've got Knights chasing Cav Archers. TaToH's conversions have been clutch. If TaToH wasn't getting conversions here, I think he would be in big trouble. If he loses that farming eco even, he's in big trouble, right? So he needs to hold the front. But are we at a point now where Vivi can maybe even boom? I think we just saw it. There's the second TC. Just being made by... Oh, all these villagers. They have to walk around. Yeah, maybe this is a situation where both players end up on 2 town centers and the game does advance past Castle Age. But I've never seen a game on this map go imp. Of how crazy it is. Speaking of crazy, thank you, Grathrang, for the host. TaToH has 5 relics. It's worth reminding... 5 relics. It's worth reminding you guys. That's helping his gold income massively. Consistently pumping out Scorpions here. And Vivi's approach is to have the Knights there to take out the Scorpions, but TaToH has just enough monks to get conversions on most of those. But actually, this is going to be interesting. Let's see what TaToH's response is when he sees this army. Because since there's Scorpions and monks in here, this is rather slow. Like, his force is slow. So is he going to chase this down? Or is he just going to run forward? It seems like he has to defend himself. Nice job from Vivi to move in this way, because it's forced a reposition from TaToH, one he wasn't expecting. And with that, TaToH's maybe going to take some losses that otherwise he wouldn't have taken when defending on the front. You have Cav Archers that ran in here, and TaToH trapped them, but at what cost? TaToH's lost a lot of Vils there. And I think, actually, the Cav Archers will stay in there, because this Scorpion's going to go down. Yeah, that's Well, I thought Vivi would use the Knights and move that. Okay, there's a lot going on right now. Also, you have to remember, we're talking about a Chinese player versus Spanish player, so I think it's a bit higher ping. Not sure what server they're playing on. But one would assume this isn't like a 50 ping game. Relics 5-0 for TaToH. KD very even, but in favor of Vivi. But Eco leads 70 versus 57, and for TaToH still doesn't have his wood upgrade. At this point, I don't think he's ever going to check his lumber camps to check for that upgrade. Puts him so far behind economically. I really like how Vivi thought this would be a little questionable and just said, okay, I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to fight how you want me to fight. I'm just going to run out, split up my units. Here he's splitting up, kill another knight. And now TaToH just looks... he looks helpless, honestly. He looks helpless. He doesn't know what to do. That is a farm TC if I've ever seen one. And TaToH, unfortunate to be here. When the Knights arrive and he doesn't get all the quick walls up, more villagers go down. TaToH has the Knights here, but that means the Knights are not on this side as he lost some additional villagers. And now the Scorpions and Monks are coming over on their own. 76 villagers versus 57. This third town center looks so much better for Vivi, right? He's on gold, he's on berries, he's also going to add some farms there. This is kind of interesting, right? Everything that the players have is going to meet right here, I think. Vivi doesn't exactly know what's going on. I think actually what he's doing here is he's sending the Knights this way so he can sneak the Cav Archers in somewhere. Yeah, he knows the gold is there. Look at this. TaToH, he might expect it, but he's not 100% certain. Yeah, TaToH noticed the movement of the deer. TaToH noticed it. So now the Cav Archers are here. That was really good overall play from both players. In the end, though, Vivi still, well, he's not untouched. He's got Knights to deal with, but the Cav Archer's the most important mass to focus on. TaToH converted 3 Cav Archers with Monks, of all things. And now the Cav Archers are going to run away. I've been really impressed with TaToH's ability to get conversions. But at the same time, he needs to get more counter damage in. As he chases down these Knights, which Vivi kept alive, TaToH's going to lose more than that. And these Cav Archers could just run away. This is why Cav Archers are such a dangerous thing when it comes to balance, man. Ahmad says, why no castles? Well, TaToH's thinking about it. The real issue is safe stone. He is on stone, so he's thinking about a castle, and that'd be the same for Vivi. If you're ever thinking that someone should have a castle, and you're like, well, when I play, I have defensive castles. You have to remember that if you're mining stone, that's 7, 8, 9, however many villagers that's not bringing in food and wood and gold. And you might need that to defend the rest of your base. So, as Vivi goes for conversions and gets a few, and actually, the Monks are going to... Oh my god, the Monks survive. I think the balance has been pretty good from both players. This is what TaToH needs to do more of. And here's Vivi now on TaToH's base yet again. Vivi has played this so good, but maybe one too many areas for him to focus on right now. This is great for TaToH. This is going to even out that eco KD. And that is such a Vivi castle. Oh my god. That is such a Vivi castle. He's going to try and drop it forward. Now, what's funny is I think TaToH was thinking the same thing. So TaToH sees these villagers and... Oh! Don't tell me Vivi's going to throw this. TaToH's going to try and drop a castle on that spot. He sees the villagers. He says, that's my hill, not yours. And look at what has happened to Vivi's economy now. He's lost tons of villagers to the Knights. Now he has villagers in the middle of the map. Now he's going to drop a castle there, which doesn't make much sense. And now I guess he could deny TaToH's castle. Well, they're both going to lose vills. And I think both castles end up going up. Certainly TaToH's does. And Vivi's will as well. I just really think Vivi should have just backed up and dropped a castle somewhere that makes more sense for him. This castle makes sense if you can go up to Imperial right after and treb that. No, it doesn't. You still would want to castle the hill. That's really weird. But we know what he was going for. He still had this army back here, and he was able to kill just as many villagers as TaToH did with those Knights. Here, there's another town center for Vivi. I mean, this is Huns for you, right? Cav Archers are discounted. Your stables produce faster. If you're not producing a ton of Knights, what you're able to do is produce villagers out of all your TCs. And I think that end is near for TaToH in this game. Yeah, all these Scorpions are going to go down. There's Knights in the mix now. Vivi's just going to waltz forward and make a Siege Workshop. And TaToH is dead. The Fat Dragon, Vivi, is up 3-1 over TaToH. This is insane. Big moment here, guys, because Vivi has underperformed over the last few years. TaToH has performed so well over the last few years. And TaToH has also played in every single RedBull Wololo main event. First time he's had to qualify, I believe, right? Because he did not get past the first round last time. And he might not even make it past Vivi to make it into the event this time. We'll see if TaToH can mount the comeback. Obviously, he has the skill to do it. Vivi with wood lead there and stone lead. I mean, that wood lead could just come back to getting eco upgrades, honestly. are 2 wood upgrades over the enemy, you're going to be chopping wood a whole lot more efficiently. But I think that showed you right there how strong Cav Archers can be. And again, as I stated in the beginning of that game, Cav Archers are even stronger now than they were back when Red Bull 103 happened. So expect more of it, not just from Huns, from other civilizations throughout this tournament and maybe others. Okay. So score 3-1. TaToH goes to his final home map. And we will know what that is. Just bear with me to update the score here. I'd also really like an opportunity to drink my water and drink my coffee here, but there's just so much action. I guess I don't get to do that. One sec. I'm very used to coffee that's no longer warm. Room temperature coffee is a caster's coffee, because a caster should have no time to drink the coffee. Blue coffee? Oh, yeah. Now, I can't have blue coffee when I stream. Blue coffee, it goes right through me. And then I'm just passing, and then I'm in the bathroom, and then I can't cast. I miss a game, so I can't do that. Blue coffee's dangerous. All right. I actually had a coffee company contact me when, I want to say a year and a half ago, and they wanted to make a blue coffee, and that had just passing on the label. Which is actually so funny. I'm really stingy and like really particular about any like products I push out or sponsorships and crap, because the gaming industry is just so scummy. Like YouTube and Twitch in general, the industries are kind of scummy with how a lot of the brands and stuff, and I'm really particular about it. So but I kind of wish I would have done that. Just for the lulz, you know? Wouldn't even have to sell it. We just give it away. Can't believe you're just passing on business opportunities like that, right? Right? Okay, so what's the next map for Tati? He is going to have... Ring Fortress. Okay, so I can pretty much tell you everything you need to know about Ring Fortress. Think arena with palisades, except you have to finish some of the walls. Little awkward, but TaToH played very well with that with Britain. So TaToH lost here with Franks. Vivi won with Huns, which was very late pick. And then I know TaToH's going to go Britons. It's either Britons or Mayans. 100%. And is it maybe Ethiopians? I think I forgot to remove Byzantines here, and I forgot to remove Italians. Simon City Royal says this map rules. I want to see a little bit more diversity from it, personally. I think it's a little too, like, boom, archer heavy, and that's why I'm saying Ethiopians versus Britons. Do you maybe consider Aztecs? Excuse me, I'm sorry. Aztecs love their walls. Aztecs love their boominess. And if you boom into Eagles against Britons, it could be good. Maybe. Sorry, I'm allergic to your BS, chat. That's what it is. Courier, thank you for 10 months. D-Slats says, what's one thing to say about your boat, but not your girl? Okay, I'm not gonna... She's taking on water. There we go. I said it. That reminds me of the old Whose Line Is It Anyways days. I occasionally will just go back and watch old Whose Line clips. I love Whose Line. And I feel like people... Like type a 1 in chat if you don't know Whose Line Is It Anyway. And no shame, because I don't feel like it got as much recognition as it deserved. Okay, so some of you guys are aware of it. I just feel like even though it reached a point where it got popular, it still is criminally underrated. Well, as they will tell you, it was against Friends. Yes, that was back when Friends was really good. Or Friends was really popular. That's a good point. I didn't watch it live, though. Because that was what? Late 90s? Early 2000s? I didn't watch it live. So I remember watching my brother watch it, but I didn't really understand any of the jokes when I was a kid. So, Colin Mockery is the GOAT. Oh, Colin Mockery is incredible. They're all incredible, though. They're all incredible. Oh, really? D-Slots? That's funny. Okay. Was I watching Friends? I was probably watching Sesame Street, man. Well, I was born in 93. So I don't know what I was doing late 90s. I think I was playing like Worms on my brother's computer. You guys remember that game? When did Worms come out? The next game hasn't started yet. Worms video game. Worms, the original. There's been so many remakes. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine if Age of... I guess it's expansions. Yeah, the original Worms was in 95, baby. 95. Yep, I was definitely playing that late 90s. It was a game that 6 or 7-year-old me could understand. And then Worms 2. Oh, there's so many. I'm overwhelmed by Worms. I wonder if there's spec chat in Worms. There's been like 15 remakes. Surely one of those remakes includes spec chat, right?
Should probably have 40-some mo by now, but always forget to use Prime Skeptical.
Oh, sorry, I was talking about Age of Empires. I used the wrong game. Thank you, Lex, for the 15. Should probably have 40 or something by now, but always forget to use Prime. Well, this is your opportunity, Lex, to remind everyone here not to forget to use Twitch Prime. Did you know that if you use Twitch Prime today, you can get $5 off absolutely nothing? Sorry, I tried, Lex. Thank you for the 15. I get it. With Prime, if you're watching YouTube content and you can't make it to the stream all the time, it's fair enough. But thank you for supporting when you could. They have started. That was my infomercial voice. Politely asking with the Prime. You save $5 on a sub that otherwise would be $5. I'm so good at this. Okay, this is why we talk about Age of Empires on this stream, because otherwise people just leave as I embarrass myself.
I'm so glad you're feeling better.
Here we go.
Safe, everyone, and let's go, Fat Dragon.
Hey, thank you, Tassie. I'm so happy to be feeling better as well. It's been a good few weeks to be back. In the Reds, we have Vivi, who's up 3-1, and we're catching up to live time here, as TaToH is going to need 3 unanswered wins to be able to move on to RedBull Wolo. Can't believe I'm saying it, but I am saying it.
Thanks for the reminder about using Twitch Prime.
Okay.
Now let's get a Prime train going. Choo-choo.
Prime train, Stevie. All right, yeah, maybe I should do that reminder more frequently. Vivi's gone for Aztec, so surprised to me that TaToH's gone Saracens, because I've seen him use Britons to go archers on this map before. But perhaps not a big surprise that we're seeing Saracens for archers on a map where you can wall. Saracens have that market bonus, and what you tend to see is TaToH go... Big mistake for TaToH here. And again, Vivi misclicked his whole eco, so who even knows what's happening. Sorry, both players very focused on micro. Look at the idle time underneath their TCs. But yeah, Saracens want to use that market, send a lot of villagers to gold, sell all their stone, buy food, and get to Castle Age much faster than the enemy. But if that doesn't work, as TaToH's now adding scouts, which doesn't really feel like a good approach, I think Aztecs are just a better save. And Vivi, of all players, of all people here in this game, as the bird stuck across the or on the edge of the map, is going to be in Castle Age first. I gotta say, guys, TaToH's had some really weird approaches here. You know, didn't play in the first qualifier. I know that it's real tough to have a life balance with Age of Empires. It's just like, if you take a couple days off or a week off here or there, sometimes it can be obvious to you, but like, I don't think the scouts have ever proved to be a good decision on this map. From what I've seen, it's almost always going fast castle. And so scouts don't seem to be offering much for TaToH. He can't get his market up, which is the main thing with Saracens. And Vivi's going to be in Castle Age in 60 seconds. And he actually, he's expecting TaToH to use the market. And he sold the stone himself. Funny, the way to counter Saracens is just use the market before them, Kappa. So yeah, I mean, tough situation for TaToH to be in. That market being delayed delays his uptime massively. And against Eagle Spearmen, Saracens will struggle if they don't have archers. TaToH doesn't even have a range. There is a hole over here, something Vivi hasn't checked, but TaToH is going to be playing mainly defense for now. So there he goes to Castle Age. All right, Vivi coming forward with Eagles. Now, one thing that a lot of people forget about, it used to be shown as 4+3. So your Eagle, Scout, and Feudal has 4 attack. And then what used to be shown, and I actually like the fact that devs made this change, was an additional +3 attack when you get to Castle Age. Now they just change the base attack of Eagle Scouts when they make it to Castle to 7, right? But it's still a lot of extra attack you get just by making it to Castle. And then Eagle Warrior is going to come in, which is going to help things as well, with some Spearmen too. TaToH can't comfortably take any engagements here. As I saw TaToH, did he research supplies? Did he actually complete supplies there? I think he did. Supplies! But for TaToH, he's going to try and go Longswordsman with Saracens. The Saracens do get champion. Supplies means that your militia line is discounted. So if you're going to make a lot of them, it makes sense to get supplies. But Eagles do outrun those units, which makes me always worry when someone goes into Longswordsman. Just because Longswordsmen are technically a counter unit doesn't necessarily mean it's a good decision. Certainly not early Castle Age, because it doesn't give you any way to punish or control the game. That said, this is a YOLO play from Vivi. He sold all of his stone. He's not going to boom, so you're going to need some type of a response. And here comes a villager to drop a siege workshop. Now, what does the Fat Dragon see here? Fat Dragon sees the barracks. Okay, so Fat Dragon knows there's a barracks over here as well. Should expect Longswordsman now. So I think you open Scorpion as opposed to Ram, so you can help out against the Longswords. And I think you need a few monks as well, honestly. There's an opportunity for TaToH here, because if TaToH takes fights before Scorpions and Rams arrive, or Scorpions and Monks arrive, sorry, all of these buildings here are going to be useless. Longswords melt buildings. Yes, the Eagles are very grunty. Very grunty, but the Longswords are there. Longswords are way better than the Eagles. One Scorpion isn't going to cut it. 0 monks isn't going to cut it. So for now, Vivi is just going to have to run away from this. Now, I think the correct approach for TaToH, like I said, attack that. Especially with the hill bonus. Yeah, take that siege workshop out. Make the Eagles fight you. And then when the Eagles getting close, you have to fight. There you go. And now Vivi decides to take the engagement. He does have a lot of Eagles. But I think that Longswords are trading perfectly here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, what a clear up for TaToH. And now there's more Longswordsmen. And guys, I was judging the Longswordsmen. I was talking about how the Longswordsmen might not be good enough because they're slow and there's counters. But Vivi couldn't get the counters out. He couldn't get the counters out. One Scorpion was never going to be enough. The monks were too late. I really think the positioning of the Siege Workshop was far too aggressive. I think that Vivi did not expect TaToH to be able to mass this many Longswords. And now, it's not like the Aztec player is booming at all. There's no second TC. There's no stone for that. The Siege Workshop is 200 wood. Say goodbye to that. Say goodbye to all your Scorpions. And then I guess the monks have to run home to a new monastery, and even that monastery probably won't stay up. TaToH might have just won the game there. It's just heavy commitment to farms back here. He even added another mill. And heavy commitment to deal with that pressure. Yeah, this monastery's down. I just don't know what you do if you've committed into Eagles besides raid. Try and find an opening, but eventually this pain train is coming to your town, Vivi. You're gonna have to find an answer to this. Another monastery! Look at this line of monasteries. As one goes down, another one's constructed. And, oh, Vivi doesn't even get a conversion there. Okay, important moment. If TaToH gets 2 houses down here, then I think Vivi's dead. Yeah, there's no way to deal with this. Someone do the math on the cost of the Siege Workshop and 3 monasteries for me. 4 monasteries! Woo! Oh, my word. That's crazy. What, 175 times 4 is 700? And then the Siege Workshop is 200. I think that's 900 wood. And half of the investment is just done nothing. Something like that. Closing in on 1,000 wooden production buildings that offer very little. TaToH will see the score now. He'll realize he could probably just add eco. It's going to take so much for Vivi to be able to defend from this. So I see he's on stone, so he can recoup that cost.
Okay.
Or recoup from what he sold earlier. He won't kill that monk, but he's got a scout around, and he's going to take out the monastery. And I think sacrificing one longswordsman to the cause is fine. Yeah, Vivi's going to get one conversion. Vivi gets another conversion, but there's enough longswords there to deal with that, so it's whatever. TaToH even researched arson, so you know, he's been able to... he destroys buildings a bit faster with infantry. Second TC for Vivi, but I don't think Vivi's in a spot where you can rely on a boom. Not after you've committed so heavily. You're going to fall further and further behind, but I appreciate the fact that Vivi's continuing to try. Vivi's 1,000 score behind, 15 minutes in. Could easily just GG and go next right now. But we have seen some wild games in this series. Miraculous comebacks do happen. So there's the TC for TaToH. It's amazing what happens when you get your eco upgrades, right, TaToH? As I say that, he doesn't have his wood upgrade, but that previous game, man, not a single wood upgrade. Really like this town center. And I could see him now, with the amount of farms he has, I could actually see him making more. The only issue I see for TaToH is he has to foresee a switch into something like crossbow for Aztecs. And he doesn't want these longswords to be useless long term. So it's possible the longswords won't scale very well into the rest of the game, but I still think this is fine. Is there a chance that Vivi drops a castle and goes into Jaguar Warriors? 2 conversions there for Vivi. Well, 1. That's so funny to me. Because what happens there is 2 friends go out on a stroll. One of the guys gets converted and the other one's like, no! just kills himself before he goes to the enemy. He watched his friend go to the enemy and he's like, I don't want to end up like that. Siege Workshop for TaToH. Yeah, I mean, instead of switching into a whole nother unit line, when you already have infantry upgrades, I feel like it would make some kind of sense to drop a castle with Aztecs and go for Jaguar Warriors and just make your own infantry. Granted, Saracens can just switch into archers then, but then you can just switch back into eagles. I don't know. I feel like on some level, TaToH is tempted to try and take out the town center right now. He's getting armor. See if the monks get enough conversions. I mean, he's going to take out this monastery that has 4 monks queued. There's no way you can repair long enough here. Vivi, back away and stonewall it. There's no way. Right? Unless I'm wrong. I think arson longswords, yeah, that'll eventually go down. Now we see the castle for Vivi. There's the stonewall. Okay. I mean, 68 villagers versus 63. Again, if the longswords don't offer anything long-term, if they don't do more, maybe there's a chance for Vivi. These longswords, well, one's still alive, but should go down. Castle's going to go up. There's a whole lot of repairing here. But the monks will be able to convert again soon. Okay, Jaguar hype. Make one, Vivi. Come on. Jaguar hype. Let's get some hypes in chat. If you have the hype emote, or the salute emote, please use it and welcome the Jaguars to our lives. If you don't have that, that's fine. Just go for a 0-7 budget salute and all's good. Yes! I used to think this unit was so amazing. It's really good against other infantry. We just never see it. Because Aztecs have so many other strengths. And TaToH maybe a little worried now. Just he's against 3 town centers. He's on 2. We have redemption now for Vivi, who will be able to drop another castle. And is going to drop it here. And I guess it's just going to convert any siege with redemption monks. Granted, TaToH has 36 longswords. So I know Jags are strong. Like, you're going to need quite a few of them. It might not actually see too many of them from Vivi because it doesn't make sense for him to spend the food on it right now. Okay. What about this, guys? What about TaToH dropping a castle here and going imp? It would be lower eco, which is risky. I see the ranges now, so he might want archers, but...
Why does this map look like 2 nipples?
Why does this map look like 2 nipples? Says Father Trace with the tier 3 21 months. Father, because you are way more creative than I am. Or you've seen some pretty gnarly nips. That's all I'm saying. Alright, here come the longswords. I mean, that's a great counterattack. To convert longswords and then get value from it there is pretty sick. Ends up being 2 villagers killed. Vivi has killed more villagers than TaToH this game. So, Third TC for TaToH. He's had the food eco to be able to make villagers out of 3 TCs for a long time. And this is technically going to be 4, I guess. Will be 3 relics for TaToH at home. I mean, there's a lot looking good for TaToH, but he's had to delete the workshop because the monk was going to convert that. This is what I think is Vivi's problem. He needs to decide what he wants to do. If he wants to have 4 castles and go into Jaguar Warriors, that's fine. But I almost feel like you need Jaguar Warriors and you need Skirmishers. I don't think you can just go Jags because TaToH's making a switch into Crossbow. Oh, Cav Archers. Oh, wow. Okay. Or you could go double melee units and you can go Jaguar Warriors and Eagles. So normally what you want is a mix. Normally you want melee and range, so you have that meat shield in front. Saracen Cav Archers are not bad. It's just the Arbalest is normally what you see. See more defense from Vivi, including stone walls here, and hopefully the stone walls come quickly because there's Cav Archers behind and another castle for Vivi. I mean, making the right moves to just play defense time and time again here, honestly. Protecting the eco lead is 9 army against 51 army from TaToH. What a heartbreaker this would be for TaToH and his fans if he can't somehow win this game because he had such a big position. And I'm actually so surprised that Vivi's been able to get here and survive this. 3 castles, all defensively, but keeping Vivi in this game. And TaToH might need to think about going imp now. Justice for Pluto. If you just got here, I can see how you'd be a little bit surprised and confused. Also, what a long day we're going to have here, guys. I've been live for 2 hours now. We have 3 more best of 7s to cast, and I think they start one after the other. So, strap in. Cancel your plans. Vivi up 3-1 would probably also be a surprise to many people who just got here. But TaToH in position to take it to 3-2 if he can keep his mass alive and upgrade it. We're not seeing Jaguar Warriors from Vivi. Well, we saw 1. Just enough. He knows how to please the people, right? Just enough to make us happy. That TC should go down. TaToH should melt that TC. This reminds me of the one time, and I don't like to bring it up a lot because he gets a big head about it, but the one time where Dave melted my TCs with longswords because he made sneak barracks in the back of my base. We were worse players back then. It was 5 or 6 years ago, but I still have nightmares about it. And Dave will maintain that longswords are excellent at taking out TCs. And he'll say that to me while we're casting, and I'll know why he knows that. But you guys won't unless I bring it up. And yeah, I mean, Vivi's just gonna add another one? What? Alright. I mean, that's an important area to secure with golden stone, but I kind of feel like that's not a very... What has changed here? Absolutely nothing has changed here. The TaToH with the light cap will take out the monks. And he will deny the TC, so it's even worse for Vivi. And so, yeah, the approach for Vivi is try and raid with Eagles. Elite Eagles in your eco. Real tough to deal with if you're TaToH. But he seems to be tracking this at least. Lacking ballistics right now, which does mean he's missing most of these shots. But he's walled. He's good. I don't... Oh, there's the Jaguar Warrior. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Yeah, you attack that lumber camp. Give it a good old smack. That's a very interesting swing technique. But yeah, the Eagles just don't seem to be working. There's just so much military from TaToH. It's everywhere. Is there an overchop here? That tree is 26. Okay, wow. Vivi's done a great job noticing these things. No overchop. Good stone walls. Monks come over to get conversions. Eagles didn't die. They run away. TaToH's still losing his lumber camp. He will need to deal with that if he wants to pay attention to something that's absolutely useless. Which, you know, happens from time to time. Monks should hop in the castle there for Vivi. A little bit of a misclick, but they should make it in. And the Eagles should not be fighting the longswords. No. I understand you might want to fight them before they're upgraded, but I don't think trading off gold against these units is a good move at all. I think this is a great thing for TaToH. Because now he still has the Cav Archers remaining. He can always make more longswords, and only 5 or 6 Eagles made it out of that. So yeah, I think the approach for Vivi was to take a fight before Two-Handed Swordsman came in. But but at what cost? Now, here's the deal about Aztec Eagles. And I guess, yeah, well, let's just use Aztec. So, Aztec Eagles are all about the attack. 60 HP is the max for them, which is standard for Elite Eagle. And then they can get 9 plus 8 attack. The problem is, even though they're high Pierce Armor, they're really low HP compared to something like Mayan Eagles, which can be 100 HP with El Dorado. So, in order to attack, you need to be alive. It seems kind of crazy, right? And I just don't see these Eagles being able to do too much against TaToH, who's going to wall and go Cav Archers. And could, after chemistry, even mix in hand cannons. But look at how quickly this anti-archer unit dies. Heavy Cav Archer is insane. It's got 11 attack. Against 8 Pierce Armor, that's a lot of damage when you've got 40 units here. TaToH really did play this game great, as someone's saying in chat right now. And I think he's done all the right moves. Having the meat shield of two-handed swordsman in front, that's going to be enough here. Slight misclick, and now you just patrol it, and yeah, Vivi has no answers. And a lot of this stems from the fact that TaToH has had this massive lead for a while. Honestly, I would also like to say that Vivi has done a great job to even get its imp, because he fell so far behind. He was at 2,400 score when TaToH was at 3,500 score. He just got wrecked. So I think TaToH's going to take this game. He's at 200 pop now. Champion might come in soon. I'm pretty sure TaToH's going to take this game, but I'm also impressed by Vivi that he was even able to bring it this far. So, good all-around series. Two great all-around players. And maybe there's a chance for TaToH to get the next win. Take it to a game 7, possibly. TaToH's sitting here with Scorpions and a Monk. That's kind of funny. Yeah, for Vivi, he needs to respond to this death ball right now, and there's just no way. He can't raid with Eagles because of how TaToH's played defensively. The castle spot in the walls. This does not feel possible to kill this. Aztecs actually really struggle against this type of a comp if they don't have siege anyways. Even if Vivi wasn't behind, right? Yeah, I think Cav Archer Champion is better than anything Aztecs can make. Like, you could think maybe Skirm Eagle? But yeah, if Aztecs don't have Siege Onager or Onager in the mix, it's going to be tough. And no cheat codes for Vivi to rely on here, like many people watching the stream do against the AI. That's right, I know. Yeah, the thing about Aztec Skirms, while they're strong, is that you're going Skirm against Champ with full upgrades, so you're really not going to do too much. And the big thing here is the long-term control of gold. All of this will be denied. The TaToH's Cav Archers haven't even been fully upgraded here. And GG. Wow. TaToH wins the game against Aztecs with longswords at the start of Castle Age. And it was not looking good either. I think that for Vivi and early Castle, it was just too aggressive. I'm going to go back to that point. I think 13 minutes. It might even be after that. Yeah, it was more around. I'm not used to the timings. Yeah. So look at this. At this point, the Fat Dragon had spotted this barracks and spotted this barracks. You got to know you're up against longswords. I think what you do is you build your buildings here, and instead of starting off with Scorpions, I think you start off with Monks. I think you go Monastery, Siege Workshop, and you have a little bit of patience now. Because you're both essentially, you've sold all your stone. You expect Saracens to sell all your stone. You know it's going to be a lot of aggression from TaToH. They just ended up taking an awful fight here on this hill, and then none of the buildings mattered, and he tried to recover from there, and it never worked out. Overall statistics, though, for that game, for those curious, TaToH with more wood, food, and didn't have as much gold, and didn't even have as much stone, but I guess KD was incredible. 177 units killed, 54 units lost, and he killed 177 units that were all gold units. Vivi didn't make a single unit that did not cost gold. We didn't see a skirmisher. We did not see a spearman. Did we see a spearman? Okay, we might have seen one spearman. But the point is, 99.9% of the units that TaToH killed were gold units. All right, so now we move on to Fat Dragon's home maps, which in theory should mean that he is favored. I forget. Okay, Vivi played with Greenland in that one win earlier today. That was game 2. Vivi has Marketplace, and Vivi has Acclivity as options. Now, I'm going to just pull up I don't have a specific scene for all the maps, but I can make it real easy for you guys. And if you want to take a look at this link in chat, you can do so as well. In fact, honestly, mods, if we could change if we could swap out the Liquipedia link with the link we have on the bracket command, that would be really helpful, because I think Liquipedia is just the way to go right now. But yeah, I'll pull it up on screen so if you guys could get an idea. Some of you might already know the maps, but... Okay, so for Acclivity, which is here, Acclivity has this... there we go, that's fine. Acclivity has elevation, where the sandy terrain is. So, like, elevation around the outer ring and through the middle. We see a lot of TaToHs, a lot of Ethiopians, a lot of Britons there, lots of archer civs as they try and range everything. And then the other one is Marketplace. Marketplace, there's a giant woodline in between them, and you have to expand around it. So it's a very different map. Now, I'll see what they're going for next. But first, before I do, let's go to... I think what we'll do is go to the civ draft, and yeah, just eliminate what civs they have remaining. Okay, so losing with Aztecs, TaToH winning with Saracens. I think we'll see Ethiopians for Acclivity if it gets there. Oh, man, and TaToH has Britons and Mayans. TaToH has 2 really good archer civs available. I think TaToH will go Britons on Acclivity. And then... I don't think we'll see Turks at all. I think maybe Mayans on Marketplace. But maybe Turks. I don't know, man. Maybe TaToH's got some crazy plan for them. But the fact he picked the other civilizations much higher makes me think that he's going to want to go for them. Right. Is Marketplace just Atacama? Not really. Not really. But I think Atacama is one of my favorite maps for RedBull Wololo. And it kind of makes me sad it's not in the map pool, honestly. I don't know why they removed it. Like, Atacama, I think, is better for Empire Wars and RedBull Wololo than it is for the, like, standard settings. Like, I never wanted to include Atacama in Hidden Cup because I felt like it's just worse with the Dark Age start. That's where I'm at. Okay. What's your prediction, T90, given the civs that TaToH has? I have to see, but it honestly feels like we could take this to a Game 7 and TaToH winning. If Vivi doesn't make Ethiopians work on Acclivity, which is going to be the next game, granted, I don't know if Vivi's going to go Ethiopians, but I'm pretty certain. I could see TaToH winning this 4-3. Feel like I don't know too much about Marketplace in terms of the meta, and so TaToH having Mayans and Turks remaining there would be a little weird for me. But the next game will be Archer Civ versus Archer Civ, most likely. Not that Ethiopians aren't incredible there, but I think Britons are the preferred civ. We'll see. Thank you, Oomba, for 28 is rooting for the Fat Dragon. By the way, I think we have the... Yes, if you have better TTV, we do still have the T90 Dragon emote as a BTTV emote. And it's... I don't know how long everyone in my community here now has been around, but back in the day... Fat Dragon was what Vivi called himself. And so we had an emote. Yep, there it is. And it's a Fat Dragon holding McDonald's fries with a McDonald's shake at the bottom left. Oh, those were the days. Highly recommends going to my YouTube channel and just searching for Fat Dragon games. It was so fun. And, like, back then, there wasn't a queue. So people would just host games. And it would just be Viper and Vivi, like, 5, 6, 7 games in a row with crazy strats. Towers were actually good back then, so it made Feudal Age a lot more interesting. And Vivi had he had the meta down, man. He's so sneaky with a few villagers too. George says, why can't I see the emote in chat? You would have to have the BTTV extension for whatever browser you're using. So chat, can we get some cat jams? If you're watching on your phone, or you don't have BTTV extension on whatever browser you're using, you're not going to see the dancing cat. But if you have the extension, you're going to see the dancing cat. So just look for that extension in the extension store. It's free, and it makes the Twitch experience a little bit more interesting. So I did see the emote news that Twitch announced. I didn't read through all of it, Ducks, but that's exciting stuff. Come here! What the? What? Okay. Well, in the yellow, we have TaToH. TaToH is playing as the Britons. Normally, what you see on this map is someone opens up with an archer range, walls their base. Oh, that gold position is going to be tough to wall, though. Yeah, walls their base, and then tries to get Castle Age into crossbow. We've seen Britons, Mayans, so many archer civs, Tatars. But Vivi's taking a different approach here. And different doesn't necessarily mean bad. Different just means different. So let's see. Vivi opening up with a stable to kill villagers. You are very close together. But I actually think being close together favors Archer Spear. Because Archer Spear's slower. If you're further apart, I think archers are a little less realistic to do any damage with. Gold positions for both looking a little awkward, honestly, if they want to full wall their base. But TaToH has seen 2 scouts, and TaToH's going to move forward here in a moment. Guarantee it. Kind of feels like he's going to go... He knows that 3 scouts cannot fight against 2 archers, 2 spears. And he'll probably just add more spearmen at home. Perfect play from TaToH. And now Vivi's going to need either walls or an archer range to add skirmishers. Vivi thinking, oh, he's gone forward. What can I do? And then says, oh, okay, there's another spearman here. That's not good. Yeah, I really like TaToH's opening so far. But I also like Vivi's response with the walling. Villager could die. Villagers could die. Khmer can hop inside their houses. Have to abandon the gold there for your Vivi, but you don't really need the gold now anyways. As Vivi dives in against the spearman, micros away from it, goes after TaToH's villager. Should see the other spearman and run away, though. Well? What the? I'm surprised the spearman didn't get any hits in there. And now you have Vivi coming in to hit TaToH. And this is a little awkward for TaToH. Look at all the villagers he's had to pull. Yeah, these settings, you start in Feudal Age with 27 pop. You start with a lot of eco. It's very different than your standard play. And now 1 spearman could be taken out. And you can tell there's so much lag for them. And they must be playing at like 115 ping, which back in the day was not so much. Back in the day, people were playing at like 300 with peer-to-peer, but... Vivi's just so good at moving around with scouts, man. He pops in with 1 scout. How annoying is that? And then I don't know if he'll run away here or if he'll get greedy and dive. But yeah, he runs away, keeps these alive, and has defended well and mixed in skirms at home. I actually really like Vivi's position. I mean, TaToH losing 1 villager isn't the biggest deal, but the fact that he's not fully walled and the fact that mobility is working for Vivi is kind of a concern for TaToH. Britons don't have that. Britons are good at being in that one spot in the front of your base with walls at home. But will the scouts get any more value? TaToH's got a few spearmen here. Now, if it's this many scouts against 1 spearman, you're definitely going to take out the spearman. And not a single scout goes down. And now armor's going to come in 15 seconds. But for Vivi, I think you need a little bit of patience. A little bit of patience. There you go. Good. Hit the spearman now. TaToH running away from his gold. TaToH is moving out across the map at the same time. Look at that micro. Did you see that? Did you see that micro? That was so good. Because he pulled away the weak scout. Gets another spearman kill. Look at that KD right there. 7-2. I know that 7-2 isn't great in poker, but in Age of Empires 2, if you're Vivi anyways, that's fantastic. Bloodlines now for Vivi, which is kind of funny because most of these scouts are kind of weak. But it will give scouts extra HP. That's kind of weird to me, actually. I don't know if he's going to make more. So I don't know if it's worth it. But it does benefit these scouts here. TaToH still has a lot of archers. TaToH not spending any food. So you've got to think that TaToH's still going to be okay in terms of military long term. And might even have the faster castle age. Interesting that Vivi decided to tower the front like that. That doesn't make much sense to me. Armor's now in on the skirmishers, which will make it awkward for TaToH to take an engagement. And the scouts are in. And I don't think TaToH was expecting this. I'm not really sure why. Because maybe he thought the scouts would come back to his base. But, oh, man, the focusing from Vivi. 6 villagers killed now. And TaToH has added his own scouts, which is an important point. Because Vivi's going to feel confident to move out with skirms against those archers now. And the scouts would take care of that, but Vil kills, man. This Fat Dragon, he's always loved his stable units. And look at TaToH's lumber camp. Oh, brutal. Brutal, man. Doesn't lose any Vils, but the idle time. Could we be seeing the end of TaToH here in this qualifier? TaToH clicks up to Castle Age, though. Look at all those blacksmith upgrades. 4 out of the potential 5 blacksmith upgrades researched for Vivi in this game. And Skirms still not pushing out, which is a smart move because they would die to any scouts. Scouts could still get so much value against army or against villagers. Vivi only 2 vills ahead is what I'm being told. Yeah, but he doesn't have wheelbarrow. Wheelbarrow delays your TC. Now, you could make arguments against not getting wheelbarrow. But when you get wheelbarrow, your TC is not creating vills. So, you have to factor that in. You have to factor a lot of different things in here. He has had more TC idle time. So, it's probably like, as another villager goes down, still going to end up evening out to Vivi having an eco lead. But not necessarily. If TaToH kills villagers with these crossbows, look at these woodlines. I mean, this is more than doable for TaToH. As he'll lose another villager. Crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy stuff. Vivi's scout micro has been on point today. Like, really clean, man. They always pulling away the scout that's getting hit. Look at that. That's 3 times in a row. And now he's back on TaToH's gold. TaToH will lose another vill. This is as good as I've seen Vivi play in a long time, honestly. With these settings, for a player who's notorious for not really preparing or practicing a lot, and maybe he did. Maybe he's sick of that being what people say about him. Look! 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 They're both weak! Oh! Got him! 10 villagers killed in Feudal Age. Alright, we've got a tower going up on this gold now. Tower on the front's kind of nice, but also it doesn't protect too much. More so protects the space. The wood lines are going to be the concern now for Vivi. But let's see where TaToH wants to hit. And he's going over here. He now sees there's stone miners. So Vivi's going to have to bail on that. He knows the gold is there, and he knows how important that's going to be. And Vivi has not reacted at all. So loses 1. You can hop into houses with Khmer too. TaToH sees the skirms, knows the scouts could be good there, now sees the tower. But with Britain range, you could still range a lot of these vills. But for Vivi, he just wanted to buy time. He just wanted to keep that eco lead. Remember, having wheelbarrow, having double bit axe, having horsepower, the eco is just overall much stronger for the Fat Dragon. TaToH looking for a spot to hit right now as Bod Canero's coming in. But then again, Vivi's got a lot of food and gold. I guess he wants to go knights and skirms, but no elite skirm yet, as we see this crossbow sitting behind the wood line and spotted by Vivi. Vivi will kill that. Hard for Vivi to push out, though, with these skirms because TaToH's adding knights. TaToH's all in here. He sold his stone. He's all in here. He needs to kill. He needs to maintain that mass. Vivi can eventually mine more stone, I think, but Vivi, almost in a way, is all in defense, just to ensure that that eco lead is maintained. I still think Britons are the much better civ here. Britons are just so sick because there's so many different areas you can hit with those crossbows. But you'd need to have a lot of knights, you need to have a lot of skirms, and it is doable, maybe, but maybe not enough right now for the Fat Dragon. I think 8 knights, you're going in here with confidence. 4 knights against ballistic crossbows, probably not. I mean, unless you're Vivi, because he's just gone in and he's moved forward with confidence. I like how he relocated his wood line. I think that's a really important thing, but I don't like how he kept villagers here. Still, maybe now he's going to toss army away just to get TaToH off of his back, you know? I don't think this is a good trade, though. But maybe it's enough when he knows he has a lead. He's sitting here with knights, by the way. He'd try to get some type of... You know what? I misjudged that. That ends up being okay. He loses a lot of knights, but he has the economy to make more. TaToH might not have the economy to do much more here. So, I think it's more so because of the situation it was a good trade, right? You lose like a lot of expensive knights, but you have the eco to make more, so... And TaToH needed to kill, right? And now, TaToH's lost that force. TaToH's down to 14 military. That's not the number you're going to want to be looking for in this position. So you hit the first group, and that means that TaToH doesn't have the ability to fall back and then rejoin with his second group, which would make this force so much more deadly. This could be the end for TaToH. I mean, with the amount of knights coming out from Vivi, good food eco, good gold eco, if he engages against this group, I think the knights would win that fight, and that could TaToH has no chance to reboom back into the game. TaToH might not have any chance at all. Maybe a little bit of patience is needed here for Vivi. Here, well, never mind. He's getting close to your resources. Forget patience. Forget patience. I was saying maybe you wait a little bit. Wait till you've had like 4 more nights and then you get a massive clear up. But I think it's better to prevent him from hitting your villagers and just trade against the crossbows yet again. Good work from TaToH to distract some of the knights, but the crossbows will go down here. TaToH still sitting on 1 TC. Vivi adding the second. Better eco upgrades. More efficient eco. Full map control. I said this would be 4-2 today. I think the scoreline we're going to see is 4-2 based on how this is going, unless TaToH can somehow pull it out. But I said efficient eco, not fishing eco, I think. Anyways. But I did not think that this would be 4-2 for Vivi. As that tree has 10 wood on it. And the knights are just waiting. Vivi's checked that. He's going to run back. And he's going to run right back in. Watch. Wait. Oh, TaToH switched the tree. TaToH switched the tree. He went to the other tree. That's really funny. Vivi's been a little wasteful, actually, with the knights. He's got some weak ones here. Vivi now is producing a lot with food. Knights and villagers. Gotta make sure you heal up those weak ones, and that's what we'll see here. I was thinking also a siege workshop, as he was debating on building on the hill. That's not gonna work. Some scorpions from Khmer could be very strong. TaToH, feeling the need to have some additional eco, has just bought 100 stone to drop a town center here. Which I think is the right play, honestly. You're still gonna have to get some counters in, but I think it's the right play. He does have a deadly amount of crossbows right now. I mean, Britons are no joke, man. And Khmer have a really weird transition from Castle Age to Imp. So, could still see this being a possibility for TaToH. It all depends on how good Vivi's going to play from his leading position. Looping in with these knights to hit any possible eco. Wow, man. Vivi's just on top of it. He's making such good decisions at such a high rate. Over here, had to garrison. Looks like TaToH's knights have gone down. The knights are taking an okay fight here. Is TaToH maybe thinking about pikemen? Whittling down those crossbow numbers. Whittling down the crossbow numbers time and time again. 3 town centers now for the Chinese. Fat Dragon, Fat Pig, 5cm DL, really DL, whatever you've called him over the years. And all the weak knights are going back to heal up too. Not all of them. Some of them die. 1890, TaToH is playing after 1 week break. Oh, I'm aware. I'm aware. Yeah, I know that he took a week off, and maybe that's played some impact here, but it's something I've brought up over the past few hours. But also, you go into today and you think a rusty TaToH is going to be able to take it to Vivi based on years past. And I think that Vivi has just played so well today. Like, I can't take anything away from Vivi after his performances in these games. Just when TaToH looks to push out, there's always going to be more knights here. And Vivi moves on a player who people said was too much of a boomer. A player who's many people might have said doesn't prepare as much as needed to make it into an event like this. And Vivi wins the series. Wow, man. And TaToH, I know that like TaToH fans are going to say, and maybe TaToH will say he was rusty because he took some time off or whatever. Honestly, I'm not going to say TaToH had his best series ever, but I don't think TaToH greatly underperformed across these games. I think across the series, Vivi just made some incredible civ picks and incredible decisions. Like in this game, when they were both arriving to Castle Age, Vivi had killed 10 villagers with scouts. 10. His scout micro was insane. And then his eco behind it was good. The preparation with the tower seemed perfect. He didn't go overkill on stone. It was just enough to keep himself protected. Relocated the wood line when need be. Vivi looked really, really good. So I'm excited for him. I've known him for years, just like all the guys here in the high level. But excited for him, and I'm sure he's pumped to be moving on. And the Fat Dragon is alive and well here in 2021, guys. Cool stuff. Here's a quick look at the statistics. That was a really good game for Vivi. Makes sense that Khmer would have more food, right, with all those farms. TaToH did have more wood and gold as he was trying to make the crossbows, which ended up not being enough. That wasn't just outplaying TaToH, but that was also outplaying TaToH with a civilization that I think is worse. I think that historically Britons have been one of the best civs on that map, which is why before Game 6 I said that I thought that TaToH would win Game 6 and maybe take it to a Game 7. But Vivi showing that how you play the civs matter made the scouts work well there. Okay, so Vivi is the fifth person to qualify. The first one today. We had 4 last weekend. We'll have 3 more people who will qualify for the main event of RedBull Wololo.